Good morning, everybody. My name is Mani. I'm your MC for the morning. That's why I did not take MC this morning. And so good to see all of you, early risers, rising and shining. We're going to have a very, very inspirational morning here at LLI. And of course, we're celebrating from relapsed to redeemed. And may I kindly request you to take the seats in the front so that people who join us later find it very easy to just make their way to the seats at the back. So can I beg, implore, beseech you, please come to the front. All the back benches. I know it's more fun at the back. You can do your own live commentary and emceeing throughout the entire event, right? When you're at the back, yeah? Chit-chat with your friends. But I'm sure it's even more engaging when you come to the front. Yeah. Can I encourage you to come to the front? Thank you very much. Someone is already, our dear friend there is already engrossed in the book. Yes, it's a very, very wonderful book. So you can purchase a copy of the book. All you have to do is just make a donation. Any amount is a good amount. Make a donation towards MKAZ, the Muslim Kidney Action Association, and get a copy of From Relapsed to Redeemed by Mr. Ram Dubey and published by Candid Creation Publishing. Kindly switch your mobile phones to silent mode. Yeah, please do so. Yeah. To silent mode, or I like to call it the husband mode. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us welcome our guest of honor, Mr. Mohd Irshad, nominated Member of Parliament and founder and president of Roses of Peace. Let's give him a wonderful ovation and welcome. We begin this inspirational morning with some music for the soul by Azmi Hassan and friends. Let's give them a big rousing welcome. So over to you, Azmi Hassan.
Okay, thank you. Very good morning to everyone. We're going to play our first song, titled 2002. Here we go.
I will always remember the day you kissed my lips, light as a feather. And it went just like this. No, it's never been better than the summer 2002. Ooh. We were only 11, but acting like grown-ups, like we are in the present. Drinking from plastic cups, singing love is forever and never. Well, I guess that was true. Ooh. Dancing on the hood in the middle of the woods of an old Mustang, where we sang songs with all our childhood friends. And it went like this, yeah. Oops, I've got 99 problems singing bye bye bye. Hold up, if you wanna go and take a ride with me, better hit me, baby, one more time. Paint a picture for you and me of the days when we were young, singing at the top of both our lungs. Now we're out of the covers. Fast forward to 18, we are more than lovers. Yo, we are all we need when we're holding each other. I'm taking back to 2002. Ooh. Dancing on the hood in the middle of the woods of an old Mustang, where we sang songs with all our childhood friends. And it went like this, yeah. Oops, I got 99 problems singing bye bye bye. Hold up, if you wanna go and take a ride with me, better hit me, baby, one more time. Paint a picture for you and me of the days when we were young. 99 pro singing bye bye bye. Hold up, if you wanna go and take a ride with me, better aim it, baby, one more time. Hey, paint a picture for you and me of the days when we were young, singing at the top of both our lungs on the day we fell in love. Ooh, ooh, on the day we fell in love. Ooh, ooh, on the day we fell in love. Ooh, ooh, on the day we fell in love. Yeah. On the day we fell in love. Thank you very much.
Thank
2002.
you.
Yeah.
When I look into your eyes, it's like a watching the night sky or a beautiful sunrise. There's so much they hold.
Just like them old stars, I see that you've come so far to be right where you are. How old is your soul? I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up.
And when you need your space to do some navigating, I'll be here patiently waiting to see what you find. 'Cause even the stars, they burn. Some even fall to the earth, and we got a lot to learn. And God knows we were there. I won't give up. I don't wanna be someone who walks away so easily. I'm here to stay and make the difference that I can make. Our differences, they do a lot to teach us how to use the tools, the gifts we got. Yeah, we got a lot at stake. In the end, it's still my friend. At least we didn't intend for us to work. We didn't break, we didn't burn. We had to learn how to bend without the world caving in. I had to learn what I got and what I'm not, and who I am.
I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. I'm still looking up. I won't give up on us. I
Knows it's tough.
He knows we got a lot to learn.
God knows we're worth it. I won't give up on us, even if the skies get rough. I'm giving you all my love. I'm still looking up. I'm still looking up. Thank you. Thank you so much. Our next song is gonna be You Are the Reason. There goes my heart beating, 'cause you are the reason I'm losing my sleep. Please come back now. There goes my mind racing, and you are the reason I'm still breathing. I'm hopeless now. I climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you. It's thought I'm broken, oh, 'cause I need you to see that you are the reason. There goes my heart shaking, and you are the reason. My heart keeps bleeding. I need you now. If I could turn back the clock, I'll make sure the light defeated the dark. I spend every hour of every day keeping you safe. I climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you and fix what I've broken. Oh, 'cause I need you to see that you are the reason.
I don't wanna cry no more.
You are the reason.
Just a little closer.
I need you to hold me tonight. Climb every mountain and swim every ocean just to be with you and fix what I've broken. And I see you to see that you are the reason. Thank you so much.
We'll be taking a short break and we'll be back later on, so enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Can we have your company on stage? Come on, there has got to be a curtain call. We don't have a curtain, but we have a call, a curtain call. Please join us on stage. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Ladies and gentlemen.
So we have to do a bow, is it?
Yeah, a curtsy. A curtsy and a bow. So, ladies and gentlemen, lead vocalist and guitarist Azmi Hassan. Backup vocals, Azmi Ithnain. And vocals and pianist, the very lovely Lisa Hariono. It's not a violin, but it's a cello. And the cellist is Vic Lowe. He not only hits the low notes, he also hits the high notes. So don't be fooled by his name, Vic Lowe. So thank you very much. That was really, really awesome. But Azmi, you are awesome, super awesome. Do you know that?
I don't know.
Isn't he super awesome? I've got to share with you a little bit about his history. Well, he was a precocious child, and he had his fair share of run-ins with the law since the tender age of, can you guess? 10. That's right. So, but he found music. And most importantly, he found hope. So he worked on his recovery with honesty, with openness, with positivity and endurance. And look where he is right now. He's standing tall and proud and making all of us so proud of him. So, Azmin, well done. You are a role model to a lot of people. So, yes, keep the music going, keep the happiness going, and we will see you for set 2 later on. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you. So this book by Mr. Ram Dubey, From Relapsed to Redeem, is published by a wonderful publishing house. It is called Candid Creation Publishing. They're very, very candid. You will know and you will realize it for yourself when you hear it from the publisher, from the publishing house, Mr. Poon Kok Hwa, who is going to share with us the journey with this book and with Mr. Ram Dubey. This is his second experience working with Mr. Ram Dubey on a book. So without further ado, please put your hands together and welcome Mr. Poon Kok Hwa, the publisher of Candid Creation Publishing.
Thank you. Thank you, Mani. To share the book publishing journey, I will need at least 3 hours of your time, which obviously I'm only given 5 minutes. Right. So I think the first thing I want to really do is to welcome Mr. Irshad, our GOH for this morning, founder and president of Roses for Peace and nominated member of parliament. And of course, my very dear Mr. Ram Dubey, all right, who is the author of 2 books, From Drunken to Driven, his first book, and also now From Relapsed to Redeem. Whenever we publish a book, we have no idea how wide or how far the book will travel. And it is the case for From Relapse to Redeem as well. When we first published it in March this year, we did not imagine that it would result in a learning forum like this. So today we are all here because of our co-organizer, which is none other than Lifelong Learning Institute, who has so kindly and graciously sponsored this space, as well as our tea breaks, so that we can all come together and learn together from one another. And this event is also parked under the 2 months long SkillsFuture Festival. In the book, Ram also talks about the cobra in the head, cobra in the mind, waiting to strike at any time, if you are undergoing through the recovery journey from any form of addiction. Yep. And he spoke of the need of the help and support of the community to help these individuals. Yep. And this community are none other than, of course, your family, our health workers, our counselors, and many, many people in the community to come together and help. But most importantly, it's about yourself, taking the ownership for the recovery journey. And I'm so glad that today we are seeing this community, all of you turning up to really be in support of one another. Yep. So that's all I have to say, and I really want to thank all our esteemed speakers who will be sharing with you their life-changing stories later, as well as our panelists who will be here to answer questions that you all have in your mind as well. So the whole idea this morning is that we are here to learn together. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kokwa. Very short but very sweet as always. He's such a happy person, a great person to work with, and all you aspiring authors, he is so busy publishing lots of books every year, but he's got time for you, and he will guide you every step of the publishing journey. So a big round of applause once again for Mr. Poon Kokwa, publisher, Candid Creation Publishing. And now, the man himself, the man behind the book. It gives me great pleasure to welcome on stage Mr. Ram Dubey, the author of From Relapsed to Redeemed, who will be sharing with us about overcoming addiction, as well as creating a better future, and all about the Cobra in waiting. Mr. Ram Dubey, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, all of you. I'm so grateful to, for all of you taking time on this Saturday morning to come for this forum. As I was preparing, early in the morning today, I had to lug a couple of books. And, when I called for some help, a gentleman came, with his cab and decided to help me along. And he asked me, what are you doing so early in the morning, bringing all these boxes? Because he was wondering, what am I carrying early in the morning? And I said, well, these are books. I'm going to speak on these books. And he said, wow, it must be very, very exciting. And I said, well, a bit nervous too. So mind me if I make some blunders while I speak, I'm a bit nervous too. But thank you very much, and I'm so glad to see all of you coming to take part in this forum. Family, friends, distinguished guests, thank you very much.
Let's make him less nervous. Let's give him a wonderful ovation. Louder. Back to you, Ram.
Thank you. So let me start the speech formally. Good morning, guests of honor, Mohd Irshad, distinguished guests, family members, and friends. I'm grateful to SkillsFuture Singapore and the Lifelong Learning Institute for giving us this opportunity today to be part of the SkillsFuture Festival 2019. I'm thankful to all of you for taking time on your busy schedule to attend this morning's forum. Some years back, Dr. William Wan started the Singapore Kindness Movement. And for many of you who you know, that started a new aspiration among Singaporeans to be kind to each other. And in 2012, Irshad, our guest of honor, started Roses of Peace. At a time when there was a lot of turbulence and there was a lot of misunderstanding about racial harmony and religious harmony. It was a wonderful gesture by him, which today has blossomed into a very, very big organization. Both distinguished gentlemen reminded us that we, whether we are teachers, family members, parents, or friends, have a great responsibility to inspire those with good living values, not just amongst ourselves, but to our loved ones and for also to generations to come. Taking a leaf from them, I'm here to urge you to add another value in ourselves. And that was the whole purpose behind me writing From Relapsed to Redeem. That is to guard against drug abuse. Even in yesterday's papers, you can hear of a sad news of a very prominent person being succumbed to this problem. And as I was listening to the news last night, I realized that more and more people have been caught for this problem. So it means that this problem is an ongoing problem. It is a problem in society that we all must work together to eradicate. And we must help those, but most importantly, we must help those who have fallen from the cracks, but who have decided to get honest with themselves, get open about their problem, get positive that they can struggle and come out of this problem, and are willing to endure themselves. Drug temptations, what should I say about them? They are everywhere. A lot of people ask me as a counselor, a lot of people ask me, why can't we eradicate drugs from the world, Just take it off so that this problem goes away. But these temptations are everywhere. And the problem today with the new psychoactive substances, one curious act, one curious desire is enough to burn the body's resources so that it will create a lasting dependence. Just one time, ice, for example, is a drug that is so meanness, is so harmful, that you just take it once and you become addicted for life. So, addiction forms very, very rapidly. Drug abuse starts as a self-induced behavior, unfortunately, but it soon turns into a nightmare. Addiction destroys your self-control. A lot of times we misunderstand. We think that somebody is in addiction, he's not good and he doesn't want to sort of change. But unfortunately, once you are addicted to drugs, you lose your self-control. A lot of people also feel bad that why do these people are being put into the drug rehab center, and why are they institutionalized for some time. The important thing to realize is once you are addicted to drugs, there is no other choice. You need to be rehabbed, you need to be isolated, you need to be detoxed, and you need to be given all the things necessary so that you can actually overcome this problem. Rehab, unfortunately, can only impart skills and tools for recovery. A lot of people think that, once they have a family member or they have a friend who has gone to rehab, when he comes out, he should be all right, no problem. But no, unfortunately, that's not the case. It cannot guarantee recovery because recovery rests with the individual. The road to recovery, unfortunately, this is after about 7 years of working in this line and working with a wide group of people, maybe 1,000 people. I got this feeling after a long time that the people who actually stood out and were able to recover from addiction were those people who had honesty. And on this, I wish to share with you something which an imam, in my course of work, I meet a lot of religious leaders also, and in one of my meetings, I met an imam, a Muslim scholar, and he shared with me, I asked him, I said, sir, why is it that it's, for change, what is it that your scriptures say about change? And he told me something very interesting. He said, actually, in our scriptures, there is a part where somebody walks to Prophet Muhammad and asks Prophet Muhammad, I have done many, many wrong deeds, and I want to change. And what the Prophet told him was very interesting. He said, really? You want to change? He says, very simple. Stop lying. Stop lying and just speak the truth. If you just do these two things, you will recover. You will come out of your problems. Stop lying, speak the truth. Now, unfortunately, in drug addiction, that's the biggest bugbear. That's the biggest hurdle to recovery because honesty sometimes with the problem isn't there. The next thing is sometimes people get honest, but then the positivity, the openness, the idea of, getting up and speaking in front of people or sharing your problem with someone, that's being stigmatized. People feel that, what will people say if I have a problem and talk about it? So openness is an issue. And sometimes you can be honest, you can be open, but then, whenever you want to recover or change in something, it doesn't happen immediately. You can get into addiction in one day, but you want to recover it, it takes months and weeks to recover. So you need to have the positivity to say, there will be some up and down, there will be some things that will go wrong with me, but I'm certain I will recover. Now that part of it is needed very badly. And then finally, it is not something that can be cured. It is something that you can have it in remission, and it is in remission for life. So what you need to do is you need to be able to accept this and endure this and live your life healthy. Now, unfortunately, honesty, openness, positivity, and endurance, a lot of people, they have that. But what happens is they then get frustrated after a short while, especially the last part, on the part of endurance. People can't endure. They can't endure the difficulty of staying in recovery. The temptations, remember in drug addiction, the biggest problem is the temptation and the emotions. And unfortunately for emotions, there is one cure. You need to learn to make peace with your own soul. Spirituality. You can be of any religion, but unless you are willing to make peace with your own soul, unless you are willing to practice acceptance and humility and gratitude, that thing doesn't come by. So many in recovery, they actually struggle to hold on to their honesty, openness, and positivity because of the temptations and the emotions, and they give it up. Their endurance, their stamina, and passion dwindles fast. It dwindles very fast. Past behavior has taught them to seek instant rewards. Now what happens with drug addiction is, when you take it, it gives you an immediate high. So you get used to this thing that everything I do must get me an instant reward, and that becomes a problem. Unfortunately, if you want to quit drugs, you just can't be honest, open, positive, and endure it. You need a complete lifestyle change. You need to get back to your working life. You need to get back to your family. You need to get back to your community. And you need to change your lifestyle. If you have all the 4 factors, but you are still remaining as somebody, having the same group of friends, same company, same places you tend to go to, then recovery is very difficult. Recovery requires a lifestyle change. Some of you may ask, if it's so difficult, is there a chance for anyone to recover? In this audience, there are plenty of people who actually have shown that recovery is possible. They actually have, stood up. They actually practiced their honesty. They were open about their problem. It's very painful sometimes to share the problems, but they were open about it. They were positive when people were not so accepting about them. And they were willing to struggle, and they have done well. And some of them will come up and speak to you and also share their voices with you later on. Now, people in recovery, they need to reintegrate back into society. And that is where all of us have a role to play. They need the support of family members. So family members should not just leave them aside. They need the support of employers, support groups, religious groups, healthy friends, professionals, and general community. There is a common word. It takes a village to help. In recovery from drug addiction, it takes a village to help. They need encouragement. All of us need sometimes to be told that we are doing a good job. So they need some encouragement. they need to be encouraged to build feelings of self-sufficiency, belonging, empowerment, and social inclusion. Their recovery will get emboldened, they will get stronger when they see that there is acceptance by the community, by all of us, and then they will continue to be motivated and work on themselves. They will learn to practice honesty, and they will learn to be open about their situation. It means that we as a community have to change our mindset. We should not stigmatize people with, who are working on their recovery, but rather we should give them opportunity to come back and serve in the community, take proper jobs, and do their part as proper Singapore citizens of the community. Now, as I end this talk, I urge you not to leave anti-drug education to government alone. You know, we read in the papers, we read stories, we read what the government is doing about it. The whole result of this forum is a community effort. It's an effort that is in partnership with the government, with the partnership with all of you. Now, drug education, we need to do the same. All of you need to help us to do that. We all know that prevention is better than cure. Ask yourself, what are you doing about it? You know, every one of you here can do something about it. If you come across a family member or a friend addicted to drugs, please seek professional help. Don't try to do it alone. It's not easy. You do not know exactly how to deal with the situation. Don't struggle and manage on your own, as you may worsen the problem. Sometimes families try to deal with this situation by themselves, and they actually worsen the problem. Be prepared for tough love. Getting out of drug addiction, the person is no more in control. So you trying to be very loving and kind, maybe you will just end up becoming an enabler. So be careful about that. Rather, please bring this person or get this person to seek professional help. Someone addicted needs to be isolated. They need to be detoxed, but certainly they require rehab to get the skills for recovery. Recovery takes time, so be patient with anyone who is going through recovery. Be encouraging, be motivating to them. Most importantly, I want to leave this thing to you by telling you that all of us, whether someone has an addiction, has a problem, has a difficulty, they are all valuable human beings. And it is our role in society as a community to be inclusive, to encourage them to come back and be as part of the community. And only when we do that, and we do that more and more, that we will get people who, by some mistaken chance, have fallen into the cracks to come out and live a happy life and a healthy life again, together with the help. So with that, thank you very much.
Very nice. Well done.
Let us applaud Mr. Ram Dubey, the author of From Relapsed to Redeemed, for that very enlightening and thought-provoking keynote address. And now, it gives me great pleasure to welcome on stage our guest of honor, the founder and president of Roses of Peace. He has been spreading the sweet smell of interracial harmony through his organization for years, and now he is one of our eminent nominated members of parliament. Please put your hands together for Mr. Mohd Irshad.
Mr. Ram Dubey, author of From Relapsed to Redeemed, Mr. Poon Kok Hua from Candid Creation Publishing, Mr. Amir Ali Abdali from Muslim Kidney Action, MKAC as we call it. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let's reply, lah. You know, good morning, everybody. I'm very, very happy to join you today morning, especially on a Saturday early morning. And I would like to first thank the organizers for bringing together for this learning forum as part of the Singapore SkillsFuture Festival 2019. Before I begin, allow me to take this opportunity to express my commendation to SkillsFuture Singapore for organizing the second edition of the Singapore SkillsFuture Festival, which celebrates lifelong learning and skills mastery, as well as the Lifelong Institute for supporting and hosting today's event. I understand this year it will be a 6-week-long festival featuring more than 350 learning activities. I hope everyone will take time to participate and benefit from the variety of programs organized for every one of you. When Mr. Ram Dubey first approached me and invited me to this event, I accepted his invitation without a doubt, without any hesitation or second thought. As some of you might have known, and even perhaps even watched, earlier this year in January, I spoke in Parliament on the Misuse of Drugs Amendment Bill. In my speech, I focused on 2 areas, prevention and reintegration, and I'm heartened to learn that both these areas will be discussed in today's learning forum. Based on statistics by Central Narcotics Bureau, CNB, 3,091 drug abusers were arrested in 2017. 40% were new drug abusers. 2/3 of these new drug abusers are under the age of 30. Underlying this trend is a growing number of youth who are taking a more liberal attitude towards drug abuse, influenced by drug-related content from mass media, social media, and websites. This was confirmed in a survey conducted by National Council Against Drug Abuse, NACADA. And online peddling of drugs has also been flagged out as a rising concern by CNB. Unlike the past, more of today's drug abusers hail from middle and even upper-class families with parents having no history of drug abuse. Undergraduates, full-time national servicemen, young working adults are taking drugs, with some even going overseas to consume drugs, thinking they can evade detection and prosecution. There are currently many efforts aimed at addressing this growing pro-drug trend, including the recent media campaign launched by NACADA and the ongoing activities by the Dada Itu Haram campaign, as well as the annual activities and efforts by CNB. But based on my interaction with youth from all spectrum, I found that these campaigns are quite effective at reminding the mainstream youth, but not as effective as targeting the youth who are more at risk of drug abuse due to gang influence or even other delinquency issues. Ultimately, support from the community remains integral in the fight against drugs. In my speech in Parliament, I commended efforts such as CNB's United Against Drugs Coalition, an anti-drug coalition made up of local organizations and business enterprises. I also highlighted the good work undertaken by Revive SG, a ground-up initiative formed in 2017 by a group of former drug-related offenders and renounced gang members. Revive SG is interesting because, as my previous speaker, Mr. Ram, mentioned, we need more community-led approach, and we need ground-up initiative, especially from ex-offenders, especially from people who have gone through what the painful journey to be redeemed by the society, by themselves. And Revive SG not only provides support and counseling to youth at risk, they also conduct recovery programs and educational programs for parents, educators, employers, and the public. So we need more of such initiatives and concerned individuals to step up to help these vulnerable people abusing drugs. In that light, I would like to express my heartiest congratulations to Mr. Ram Dubey on his latest book, From Relapsed to Redeemed, which shares invaluable knowledge on overcoming drug addiction and building a better future for all. The book shares a simple principle that the only medicine to recovery from drug abuse is abstinence. Abstinence comes from honesty, openness, positivity, and endurance, hence the acronym HOPE. This book shares insights from people in Singapore who are out of rehab. They share how they maintain the recovery. They also cite how they overcome the stigma and build a new and healthy life for themselves and their families and loved ones. Let him give a round of applause. Because his exemplary contribution in our effort is a model contribution in our effort to stamp out drug abuse in Singapore. Hopefully this is not the only book that we're going to see from you. And previously he has written a book on overcoming drinking, addiction to drinking, alcohol consumption. So now he's written a book on drug consumption and overcoming that. So hopefully in future you can address other societal problems that we're facing. As part of this forum, Mr. Ram's book has been made available to all attendees, and I believe you're free to donate any amount towards the Muslim Kidney Action Association, MKAC, as I shared earlier, a non-profit social organization for the benefit of the chronically ill members of our community, including kidney and organ failure patients and their families. MKAC is also a registered charity with the Commission of Charities as a full member of the National Council of Social Services. I also understand there will be a panel discussion later in which speakers will share how they recovered from the drug addiction and abuse and became anti-drug advocates and provide motivation and inspiration to others against drug abuse. This forum and panel discussion is essential to drum up and spread knowledge against drug addiction, encourage relapse prevention, and also promote skills needed in recovery. It is still a challenging issue to address, but with the support from the community at large, nothing is impossible. As they say, it takes a village to raise a child. I say we must all do our part to fight and stamp out drug abuse, starting with the young. With that, I wish everyone a pleasant and beneficial morning. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohd Irshad. May I kindly request our guest of honor to remain on stage for the next segment.
But before that, I would like to thank Mr. Ram Dubey, who printed this beautiful bookmark from Roses of Peace. And he was moved by the mission and what we do at Roses of Peace. He said he wanted to include a bookmark. He asked me to include what we do and all the values of peace and harmony espoused by all faith leaders. So I hope you guys find this bookmark in your book and share the message with others. Thank you.
Yes. So you'll find the bookmark of Roses of Peace, and please make a permanent mark in your hearts about interracial harmony, and not only that, also about overcoming addiction as well. So the next segment is going to move you equally as well. I would like to invite the following gentlemen and ladies on stage for our next segment, which is one of the highlights of this morning's proceedings. Mr. Amir Ali, President of MKAC, an eminent community leader who has done a lot for the nation and the community. Mr. Muthu Kumaraswamy, who established the first rehab center in Singapore. Mr. Muthu Kumaraswamy. Ms. Sharon Ong. Mr. Alan Tan. Mr. Muhammad Ismail. Ms. Shirley Boone. Mr. Richard Wern, please join us on stage. Alpna Pal, Judy Lim Sok Cheng, Ranjit Singh, Bruce Matthew, Matthew Poe, Ramli Abdullah, Rizal Mikhail, Aziz Hashim, and last but not least, our dear Mr. Ram Dubey and Mr. Poon Kok Hwa as well. Please join us on stage. So we are going to do something very, very significant. Yeah. So there are about 200 people here gathered this morning, and this is the 200-year celebrations of Singapore, the bicentennial celebrations. We are all going to rise to the occasion. Let's all rise to the occasion and take a pledge. Mr. Ram Dubey raised a very important question in his address this morning. What are we doing about the drug abuse problem? So let's begin with the first step by taking a pledge as a community to play our part to help our fellow brothers and sisters who are suffering from drug addiction. So please raise your right hand and repeat after me. So do you want me to break it into a couple of words at a time or short phrases? Couple of words, I think. It's too early in the morning, okay? Okay. I'll make it as easy as possible. So please repeat after me with all your heart and might. I, as a dutiful member of the Singapore family, pledge to play my part in our fight against drug addiction. I pledge to lend a listening ear, give a helping hand, offer a loving heart. To all who work on their recovery with honesty, openness, positivity, and endurance, and support their journey so that they may lead a happy and healthy life ever after. Thank you very much. Well done. Let's give a rousing applause so that the whole nation can hear. So we have begun a wonderful initiative. Let's write this pledge in all our hearts, and let's help all our fellow Singaporeans overcome drug addiction or any addiction of any kind. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, guest of honor, Mr. Mohd Irshad. I would like to request all of you to take your seats, except Mr. Bruce Matthew, who will be on stage to share his life journey. Well, this handsome dude next to me is a brand ambassador, and they have chosen very, very wisely. He's the brand ambassador for Caffeine Experience. How many of you are familiar with the Caffeine Experience? Okay. The rest of you don't drink coffee?
Don't worry, after this morning, all of you will be introduced to the Caffeine Experience, and hopefully, before you leave, some perks. You know, you guys will get some perks, all right?
Thank you so much for that, Bruce Matthew. You're always a guy that we can rely on. So for the next few minutes, you are going to be on a high, okay, on a caffeine high, because Bruce is going to be sharing with us all about his life journey, okay, and the obstacles that he met on his way, how he overcome all of the obstacles with hope and the skills that you require to overcome any addiction. So over to you, Bruce.
$1,223 days. This might mean nothing to you, but for me, it is significant because it has been 1,223 days that I became a free man. Very good morning, everyone. My name is Bruce, and I'd like to thank all of you for choosing to spend your Saturday morning at this forum. I'm here today to share my life story with all of you. In March of 2016, I was released from prison after serving a sentence of 5 years and 9 months for drug consumption. In total, I have been in prison 5 times, with a combined sentence of approximately 20 years. I have also been given 21 strokes of the cane. Each time, when I go to prison, I would always tell myself that this will be my last. But time after time, upon my release, I would go back to my old ways and get into trouble with the law again. The first time I tried drugs was when I was 13, 1-3. And I absolutely loved it. And because I loved it, that was the beginning of my tumultuous affair with her that spanned 3 decades, 30 years. I think all of you know that drugs can do incomparable things to a person. She has made me lie, steal, rob, and cheat in order to support my habit. Drugs had also turned me into a violent man. In my chemically altered state of mind, I fought many times, assaulted a police officer, and stabbed someone. Once, while I was in police custody, I'd even attempted to escape by jumping out of a 3rd-floor window. During my last imprisonment, I spent a lot of time thinking about my life, the things I did, and as to why I keep on reoffending. And after many months of rumination and sincere soul searching, I finally found the answer. I have been going in and out of prison because I forget. After being released, amidst the lights and glitters and many distractions of this world, I forget about the pain and suffering that I had to go through when I was in prison. I forget about the unnecessary misery my family had to endure because of me. And I forget about the promises I made to myself, to my family, and even to God. You know, I was just like a man looking in a mirror, and as soon as he walks away, he forgets what he looks like. I have a daughter who is in P4 this year. Her name is Beatrix, and I absolutely adore her. When I was in prison, my wife used to bring her to visit once every month. In April of 2013, when she came to visit, it was on a very special day. Can anyone tell me why the day was special? Sorry? I can't hear you. Louder a bit, please. Wrong. Wrong. Whose birthday? Yes, correct. It was my daughter's birthday. She had turned 4. And then she had on a brand new dress that my wife had bought for her. And she was so proud of it that when she stepped into the cubicle, she started to parade. And then when she sat down, I sang her a birthday song. And all of us were singing and clapping, and we were all so happy. And at the end of the song, my daughter looked at me and she said, "Dada, Carrie." I tell you, my heart absolutely dropped. Then she said again, "Dada, Carrie." And all I could do was look at her and shake my head. Then she started crying and bawled, "I want to go home, I want to go home, I want to go home." I tell you, in all my years of prison, I never missed one visit. But that was the only visit I never got to finish. Because my daughter was crying so uncontrollably that my wife had to bring her and leave. I will remember that day for the rest of my life. And I will carry the image of my daughter crying in my heart till the day I die. Because it is that image that will serve as a grim reminder of what will happen again if I do not toe the line. That day was a turning point in my life. I told myself I had to get my life back on track. For the first time in 30 years, I had finally found a reason to change. And for the remainder of my sentence, I took steps into ensuring that my goal was met. I did a public renouncement of my secret society affiliation. I attended Bible study classes, and I signed up for family bonding causes. For the final 3 months of my imprisonment, I was sent on a community-based program at Teen Challenge. Although the time I spent at Teen Challenge was a short one, it had benefited me greatly. Because being at Teen Challenge had helped me to bond with my family after my long period of absence. And it had also allowed me to reintegrate back into society at a slower and steadier pace. And it was also during that 3 months that I had developed a burden for those who have been in my shoes. So much so that shortly after my release, I had joined them as a care worker. And I'm blessed to be able to say that in those 14 months that I was serving there, I was able to use all the negativity in my life and turn them into positive ones to help, encourage, and most of all, to impact the lives of other individuals who share the same addiction problems as I do. I'm now currently working in a cafe called the Caffeine Experience. We are a social enterprise that hires ex-offenders. This enterprise was established so that sincere individuals with a desire to change can come and seek employment so that they can provide not only for themselves but also their families. This cafe also serves as an empathetic and safe setting for our beneficiaries to voice their opinions and also to share their plight without having to face any judgment or prejudice. It is also our aim at the Caffeine Experience to create an environment of distraction for our beneficiaries so that they can look forward to living a better and brighter life without drugs and crime. Thus far, we have 2 outlets. One is at Tan Tock Seng Hospital, and there's where I'm at. And the other one is at Center Point. We have a third one that will be coming up somewhere in August, but I will let my colleague, Mr. Matthew Poh, who is also the co-founder of the Caffeine Experience, to give you more on the details later. I have now been out more than 3 years. I have a question for all of you. Do you think it has been easy for me? The answer is no. Very often I still face obstacles, opposition, and oppression. But I believe that if I keep my inner compass facing true north, with my family and my faith as my 2 pillars of support, I will have many more 1,223 days.
It takes a lot of courage and a big heart to share what Bruce shared with us so far. Let's give him a big, big round of applause. You are going to be redeemed forever. We believe in you.
Thank you.
Let's give a rousing applause for Bruce Matthew. And all the very best to you, and see you at the Caffeine Experience.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, we will. We will. Thank you very much. And up next, another wonderful gentleman who has overcome great odds, and he's going to share with us his life journey as well as the skills to recovery. Let's put our hands together for Mr. Ranjit Singh. A wonderful applause for Mr. Ranjit Singh, please. Are you going to sing for us this morning?
You know, I always tell this to people. My name is Ranjit Singh, and I cannot sing.
Thank God we have Azmi.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, yes.
Over to you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Mr. Irshad, Mr. Ram Dubey, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and friends, very good morning. And yes. You know, before I share my journey and my relapse experiences, my recovery experiences, I want to say this today. You know, it really heartens my heart and gladdens me that I see so many of you here today. You took your time to be here today, this morning, and to be with us here. You could do many other things, but you chose to be here. It just goes to show support. It goes to say that there are people in Singapore who care for people like us, in the recovering community, and also for the still suffering addicts who are out there. We need all the support we can get. This is what we need, and together, with your support, we will be able to be redeemed. So thank you very much for being here. Give yourself a round of applause. Yes. And I also want to thank Mr. Ram Dubey for writing this awesome book here. You know, when he approached me to write the book, within 10 minutes, as I was sitting with him, I said, yes, I'm going to work with him. I'm going to share my story with him because of his passion. You know, when I hear him talk, the way he wanted to help, I know that this is the man that I'm going to work with, and he's going to make a huge difference. With the 2 books I've read and so forth, it's an excellent book. If you're working with people with addictions, if you have family members, get this book. It's an awesome book. There's a lot of tips in there, the skills, tools that you can use to actually reach out to your loved ones. Yep, so thank you. And so now I'm going to share my story. I won't be sharing about my addictions and so forth. For that, you can actually read the book. But what I'll be sharing about is actually the struggles that I face in my recovery today. Yes, I was addicted to, I'm a polysubstance abuser, and I was addicted to drugs, alcohol, and all sorts of drugs for 17 years. And when I was about 34 years old, I checked into the halfway house, and I had a breakthrough since then. But along the way, after 17 years of being sober, I relapsed. And I relapsed to alcohol for about 3 years. And after 3 years, by the grace of God and the support of many good friends, I managed to come out of it, and I've been abstinent for the last 7 years today. I will share with you why. Yes. I will share with you why I relapsed and what happened along the journey of my recovery. You see, the most important thing for me today is to understand addiction and recovery. Because addiction is a very misunderstood condition today. Many do not understand what it is, including myself and many of us who are in recovery. We think addiction is just basically it's a psychological problem or either a social problem. But it's more than that. I learned it the hard way through my own experience. Addiction is also a biological problem. And today it's known as it's a biopsychosocial, and some of us say it's a spiritual problem. And that's what it is. I learned it firsthand through my experience. In the halfway house, I did very well when I went in 1994. I managed to work my way out. I managed to stay abstinent, and I did very well all the way and so forth. Until 17 years later, I picked up my alcohol, and it went out of control. For 3 years, I was drinking. And all my old way of life, the addiction life, all came back. The character defects and everything came back and so forth. And I asked myself, what's wrong with me? Why can't I control the alcohol like others can and so forth? I've been clean for 17 years. What's wrong with me? And that's where I went again to do my own research and went back to counseling and so forth. And I realized it's also a biological problem. And that aspect, I did not know much. People told me it's a disease, but what actually it is, I didn't really know. And that was my big problem. And so today in recovery, I'm glad that I've known that I have this disease of addiction and it's there to stay with me till the day I die. And all I can do is to maintain it and so forth. To stay sober one day at a time. My problem is the first drink or the first drugs. That's where my challenge is. Not the second one. By the time I reach the second one, it's gone already. So my goal is to not to pick up the first class. And that's where I work my recovery today. Recovery is not about stopping the alcohol or the drug. It's more than that. In fact, the alcohol and the drug is my friend. It's my solution. It takes care of me. It takes care of my emotions and so forth. And that was the way I used to manage my day-to-day activity life. So the issue is actually how I deal with my emotions and my feelings today. And that's what the book, I think, put hope. Being honest, being open-mindedness, being willing, gratitude, gratefulness, all of those principles today help me to stay where I am today sober. Today, I've learned to take care of myself. Self-care is very important for me. I am connected with who I am today. I know my strengths and my weaknesses. And I know that what I can do and what I cannot do, and I consciously work on this. Let me give you an example, a very recent example that I have, that I work on myself. I just graduated with a graduate diploma in counseling in ECTA. My classmates are here. Thank you for your support. Yes. I just graduated there. It's actually a master's course. And so most of them actually continue on to master's course. And so when the school asked me whether am I continuing my master's course, I told them no. There were many reasons that I said no, but one of the reasons was because of my recovery. You see, when I was going through a 1.5 year of graduate diploma course, the stress that I was going through was tremendous. There were times where I had panic attacks, I was anxious, deadlines, the academic work and so forth, all of this took a toll on me. But I was required to do that because of the work I'm doing today. But at the same time, I knew it was also affecting the quality of my life. And so I had to ask this question, do I need to continue to do my master's? And that's where I think I talked to people, I spoke to my bosses, and they said, no need to go. And I think it's very important that I understand what I can do and what I cannot do. Would I love to have a master's credential beside my name? Of course I will. I think definitely will increase my, that I'm a master's in counseling and so forth. I have that. But I need to be sober. I need to remind myself what I can do and what I cannot do. And that was the mistake I made way back in the halfway house when I was working the past 17 years. I was pushing and pushing myself to a state where I broke down. And I didn't even know. I thought it was just a social problem or psychological problem. But biologically, I have low tolerance to stress and issues. I need to be aware of this. And today, I'm aware of this. Then I need to take care of myself first before I can do that. In our recovery community, we have these slogans, many quotes and words. We say this: social acceptability does not equal to recovery. Recovery is an inside job. You see, I was working for social acceptability. I wanted to present myself to the world, to people, that I'm somebody special. I'm moving up. And it's not wrong in that and so forth. You see, society pushes us and so forth. And I also aspire to be. But if I don't understand who I am, I can push myself to that state where I actually can destroy myself. So today I've learned to take care of myself. And that's what I'm doing today. Today in recovery, I work with, basically I attend support groups today. Even though I'm a counselor at NAMS, I know I can actually work on myself. I still go for my own therapy. I still go for support group. I still need help from others. I need to continue to remember, to remain grounded and say that I need help. If I stop doing that, if I say that I can help myself because I'm a counselor, I've lost it again. So that is very, very important for me. And I'm glad that my support group that I go to also have same like-minded, and they're also like me. And I'm very, very fortunate to have many of them. I'm also grateful, to my wonderful family, my wife and my children. They have been there with me through thick and thin. Many of you would know Ranjit Singh is here. But if you really want to know, you ask my wife, who am I at home? I'm not an easy guy to be with, but they're so caring, and the unconditional love that we have for one another, that it's really, really helpful. In fact, there are many times in my early recovery journey and so forth, there were times I wanted to relapse. But like what Bruce said and so forth, shared, my children's face will come up there, and they gave me the motivation to stay sober and so forth. Is this journey easy? It's definitely not easy. But is it possible? Yes, it's possible. In fact, sometimes I do say this. I'm actually a grateful addict. Why I say I'm a grateful addict? Because if I wouldn't have gone through that journey, some of the things that I'm doing today, I don't think I'll be able to do that also. In fact, I draw strength from it today down here. They say this, that addiction, if we come out of it in recovery, we become more resilient. Yes, I think we're more resilient in that sense. When I went into halfway house way back when I was 34 years old, I only had primary 6 education. Oh, it was only primary 6. I went back to school, and today I have a degree in counseling. I think that speaks of resiliency and so forth. And it comes from the principles of recovery, which I've learned from recovery and so forth. Yeah. So recovery is possible. But it only will be possible if there's a village. People like you all coming together to work, support, and a right understanding of addiction. I think in Singapore, there is this huge problem here, where the disease model of addiction is seen as foreign. Most of the interventions that are here are more psychological and social intervention, but very little is being talked about the bio part of addiction. That is a very crucial part. For me, I learned that way. I know I'm an addict. I know I cannot use it. I need to manage myself. Day to day, I need to take care of myself and so forth. I learned it from the biopsychosocial model. So this is recovery for me, and I'm grateful that I'm in Singapore. I have all the support, and I believe I will do it one day at a time. And I'm glad that I can give back today to society with my life, with my experiences and so forth. And this gives me a sense of meaning and purpose in my life today. So thank you very much for being here, and thank you for allowing me to share my story.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ranjit Singh. You are a master speaker, you are a master counselor, and may your master's dream come true. Let's give a big hand to that.
Thank you.
Such a wonderful guy.
Thank
A great
you,
guy to meet up for a cup of coffee
Sure.
at the Caffeine Experience.
All right. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, talking about the Caffeine Experience, for those of you who need to use the restroom, who actually need the caffeine fix right now, because it's 10-something already, we have already slogged through half the morning, so we have a wonderful tea break. Okay, when I say tea break, we also include coffee as well, and lots of munchies as well. So enjoy the tea break, not too long, just 15 minutes, and we'll be back with more live sharing. Thank you very much. Now that we had a bit of a caffeine fix, let's get high on music. Azmi, Hassan and friends, ladies and gentlemen.
You guys can sing along if you know this song. Titled Titanium. Here we go. You shout it out, but I can't hear a word you say. I'm talking loud, not saying much.
I'm criticized, but all your bullets ricochet. You shoot me down, but I get up.
Bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, ricochet. You take your aim. Fire away. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Cut me down, but it's you was down and how to love.
Raise your voice. Sticks and stones may break my bones. I'm talking loud, not saying much.
I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, fire away. Ricochet, you take your aim. Fire away, fire away. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. I am titanium. I am titanium. Stone hard, machine gun, firing at the ones who run. Stone hard, those bulletproof glass. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. I am titanium. I am titanium. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to sing the next song. It's my own song, see. It's a Malay song. Title, Percayalah. It's like believe. So, here you go. Percayalah, ku akan bangkit kembali. Yakinlah, ku tak akan jatuh lagi. Sesungguhnya, ku terus mencuba. Akan ku jejaki gunung berapi, membuktikan kepadamu keikhlasan hatiku. Akan ku rentasi tujuan pelangi, mencari kebahagiaan, bahagia denganmu. Percayalah, percayalah, percayalah. Lupakanlah kenangan hitam dan lalu mulakanlah mukadimah putih nan baru. Sesungguhnya ku terus mencuba. Akan ku jejaki gunung berapi, membuktikan kepadamu keikhlasan takkan apa lagi mencari kebahagiaan bahagia denganmu. Percayalah, ku tak akan jatuh lagi. Percayalah, percayalah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Terima kasih.
Kita semua percaya awak. Well done. Thank you very much. And you're not just titanium, you're platinum, and you are also solid gold. Thank you. And now for the next sharing by Ramli Abdullah. He is an anti-drug advocate and also the founder of Reforming Support Group. So please put your hands together for Mr. Ramli Abdullah.
Thank you. Lord, I'm doing is all I can to be a better man. Okay, this line always reminds me to be a better man throughout my journey of recovery. A very good morning to everybody. To guest of honors, Mr. Mohd Irshad, I think he left already. MIA. All right. Thanks to Chairman of Jamia Afri House, Dr. Isa, he's my chairman. My deputy head, Mr. Zainal, management staff, and residents of Jamia Afri House, and also my beloved mother, wife, and also my Reforming Support Group family members who are sitting behind. Give them a long applause. Thank you. Okay, my name is Ramli Abdullah. I'm 45 years old. I'm an ex-abuser and also an ex-headman of secret society. Currently, I'm working as an operations officer at Jamia Afri House, where the place I was undergoing my program for 4 months. Very short periods, but a lot of things I've learned at Jamia Afri House. Beside that, I'm also a registered home team volunteers with 5 agencies. First, there will be Singapore Police Force as citizens on patrol, where I conduct rounds with Singapore police officers. And preventive drug education speaker for Central Narcotic, Nakada as advocates, and Justice Court under CJC, Community Justice Center. And the place that I really wanted to go back, even last time I told my friend, hey, I want to go back to this place. My friend said, you siaw. Malay said, gila. Can I have a guess? Prison. Very fast answer. Okay, prison. I wanted to give back my time to prison, and I wanted to go back and tell fellows inside that they are not alone, because some of them, they does not have any family support. So I believe with my presence inside, could change a little bit of their moment inside. All right. Thank you to Brother Ismail as well. He's the guy who recommended me to be one of the befrienders inside, and I have in total of 6 clients. Jamia Afri House, I don't have client, but prison I have client. All right. Another thank you to Mr. Ram Dubey for acknowledge and recognize our efforts, ex-offenders, through our journey of recovery. He have launched this book, From Relapsed to Redeemed. Can we have give him a round of applause? And also thank you for donating 30 books for Jamia Afri House residents and management. Okay, I started taking drug at 12 years old, where I started with cannabis, and I follow up with some substance like Upjohns, Subutex, And whatever substance you tell me, I think I've tried, right? And whatever substance I tried, the ending road will be prison. My last sentence where my last stay at the CPC condo, okay, that is the third condo I buy lah. My first condo at Remand Prison, second condo at Sembawang. This one is the third one, right? Actually, the first one, sorry to say, the first one was detention barrack. That is a horrible detention barrack. I've been put behind bars. There's no remissions, nothing. 24 months means 24 months you sit. So at that time when I was in a detention barrack, I met a friend. He said, "Hey bro, you first time?" I said, "Yeah, first time drug offense." "How many months? 24 months. He said, "Hey, you want to disrupt no, by NS?" I said, "I want." So he advised me, after this, you release, you smoke again. And I think maybe at that time I really wanted to be disrupt or reject by national service. I consume again after a week of release from detention barrack, and it's a horrible place, detention barrack, to compare with our prison. So when I took again, I prayed to God, somebody arrest me, somebody arrest me. Yes, indeed I was arrested for second consume. And I'm so happy at that time, because why? I believe I will be charged external court, not court-martial. After pending at Mulberry Camp 1 week, go back to court-martial. I sentence you to 36-month detention barrack. Ooh. And I met this joker again. I said, "You advised me to smoke. When I smoke, you see what happened to me." He said, "What? This one is by luck." You should tell me why by luck in the first place. But I think I don't blame him lah. It's all about me, right? Okay, when I start on addictions, I think drugs affect my life so much. Not only my life, my family life. I started to lie. I started to steal. I started to do a lot of things that I never once to do before. Is the same things that like my brother, my fellow Mr. Bruce said, when we started taking drugs, there's a lot of things that we never do, we wanted to do, just to feed our addictions. I used to smoke drug inside the house, in front of my mom. She cried. I used to come back early in the morning with blood stains, knocking on the door. She opened the door, she cried. I used to bash up someone in front of her, she cried. But until today, I still make her cry. I purposely brought her today. This is my mom. She's 75 years old. Thank you. Until today, I still make her cry. Cry of happiness, of all the achievement that I've got. Recognitions by Central Narcotic, recognitions by Singapore Police Force, recognitions by Singapore Prison Service. Most of the events that I've been invited, I wish to bring her, but she's not too well, so I exempted her, never mind. But today she must come, exempted. But today she come. Because why? I think these past few years, I think God is great. I have achieved a lot of things. Recently, last Sunday and last Tuesday, again and again, another article of me, a true confessions from a drug offenders. I make a true confessions in front of my mother at Berita Harian office that I stole her money, I stole her handphone. I'm sorry, mother. Please forgive me. Mak, minta maaf. Okay, thank you so much. Another achievement that I really want to share to everyone in the hall is recently I have just completed my diploma in leadership and people management, which my study was down the drain. My study was down the drain, and I think I couldn't make it. But because of the encouragements by my deputy heads, Mr. Zainal, my colleague at workplace, my chairman, Dr. Issa, I've proceeded with the diploma. I thanks to God that I have completed. And I'm just waiting for the cert. on my graduation day. That is one of the biggest achievement that I wish to have. Thank you. I have it right now. Management. Thank you. Dr. Sir, thank you. Drugs. Yes, we drug addicts. We used to be a drug addicts. We used to take drugs. We used to steal money. We do a lot of hanky-panky things just to feed our addictions. But when you talk about changes, I believe in changes. Changes is possible. Who said change is not possible? I prove to people change is possible. After my release from a halfway house, my PS in prison tell me, hey Ramli, where you go? I said, Jamia Halfway House, die. Why? 1 week you climb. You climb the fence. You will never complete your program. Okay, I think that's a challenge. And that was the first challenge that given to me. I proved to him, you are wrong. I completed my program peacefully without any problems. After that, I met him at prison. He, hey, why you are here? I said, I'm a befriender. I'm meeting my client. Are you sure not you're a befriender? I said, yes. You sure not? I said, you sure you are Ramli? I said, yeah, I'm sure. I show my access card. And that was another card that I really wanted to hold with me. Prison access card. As an ex-offender, I think I'm very proud to have that access card inside. So, I proved to everybody that people can change. It's all about ourselves. Most of the time when my workplace, I always advise my residents, changes is possible. Who said changes is not possible? It's all about yourself. The drug don't come to you when you release from a halfway house. So, hey, I'm heroin, come and smoke me. Hey, I'm methamphetamine, come and smoke me. No, drug don't come to you. You itchy, your leg itchy, go and walk, go and find. That's why you get into trouble. So I believe in changes. I believe in changes. And today, I'm a founder of Reforming Support Group. And in this support group consists of all ex-offenders who have completed their programs from Jamia Halfway House Darul Islah peacefully without giving any problem to the staff or the management. And they are the back. They are the people who have proved that they change. The first achievement when they out from Darul Islah, Jamia Halfway House, that is their first achievement. I say, hey, well done. This is your first achievement. Second achievement, they completed their urine, no MC. I dare to say no MC because why? Every time they report to me. I vacuum them. After they release from program, I vacuum. I see this guy have potential to be a speaker. This guy have a potential to be a role model. Yes, they prove to me. Program complete peacefully, urine supervision complete within 1 year. Most of them have their passport and most of them have traveled to Malaysia already. How good. So I say, freedom. Take back our freedom. Take back our freedom. Don't let people secure our freedom. This is ours, we take back. So I'm proud of them. They have changed. And today, they come and support. Not only them, I would like to say thank you to their family members, their wife, their children. In every event which I organize, the family members will be around to support them, to give a helping hand. In this reforming support group, what we do, I'm looking into 2 areas. One is outreach, where we travel to institutions, Temasek Poly, Nian Poly, and I don't believe I can step my leg in that poly, because why? I don't go poly. I go polyclinic only, right? So when I managed to step in, I met the student, I said, wow, these people are really study one. Why I cannot be like them? Last time, I wanted to be a police officer. But unfortunately, cannot. I hammer police officer. Got case ready. Last time I saw someone now using sling bag, I run. Chinese said, Chawa. I see Transcom, Chawa. I don't want to. Because I know they will hunt for me or they will spot check me. But today, I'm so proud to say I don't have to run. Today, 2 weeks once, they will email me. Dear Mr. Ramli Abdullah, we would like to invite you for the preventive drug education sharing. From the police, dear Mr. Ramli Abdullah, this date there will be a COP. I don't run. They invite me. See, different not? Different, right? So I'm proud to be who I am today. And my past makes me who I am today. I don't give up. My determination does not stop me from changing. Same goes to my reforming support group. I don't want credit. I want to see them success. We go to schools, we do sharings about drugs, we do preventive drug education talk, we do secret society talk. And the second area that is, we are ex-offenders, we help the poor and needies in donations, small fund of donations, items, food items. In total, we have completed 7 successful events that these people contribute their time, even though some of them not working like today. Some of them working, but they say, "Bang, I take cuti, you know." Like claiming like that, like claiming. Hint me, you know, "Bang, today I cuti, my petrol, jalan, no salary," like that hint already. So I must siam already lah. I got fund, I tell him I got no fund. My reforming support group does not have support from government funding. But we have support from Central Narcotic. We are recognized by Central Narcotic. We are recognized by NACADA. We are recognized by Singapore Prison Service. We are recognized by SANA. We are recognized by, I can say, a lot of government agencies. So when you tell me change, people say, "Hey, drug addict will never, forever drug addict." Who said drug addict, forever drug addict? Come and talk to me now. Come and talk to me, because I dare to prove to you all, drug addict can change. We make mistake. We make mistake. I make mistake. But we learn from our mistake. If you know mistake, but you repeat and repeat again, you go and die lah. That one not mistake. That one not mistake. That one you purposely find fault with the authority. Hocak hokun my inside. 2 slice bread, 4 slice bread. Then after that, cap merah. Brother come ni, oh, ammunition lah. Oh, macam who my brother. Tomorrow, 6 slice bread. Kena tangkap, go PC. Like that only. You smoke heroin, end up down there. You smoke methamphetamine, end up down there. So I tell all my friends, I tell a lot of people, you know drugs. Drugs. When you smoke drugs, you will be end in the condo. Condo very high security one. No problem, you don't need to worry one. 23 hours inside the lockup, 1 hour only day room, or yeah, that's all. Why? Now we have freedoms. Why must we let them take our freedoms? Use our freedoms to entertain our family, to entertain our loved ones, to entertain our good friends. I used to have friends last time, but my friends last time all chalak one, Jahannam. Malay said Jahannam. Old friend call, got nothing new to talk. "Hey bro, got drug not? Hey bro, got ubat not? Hey bro, got panas not?" I don't entertain that kind of call anymore. Yes, like Bruce said, obstacle. I face a lot of obstacles. I think I've been crime and drug free for nearly 5 years. And the first award I have given, thank you. The first 3 years award I was given by Yellow Ribbon. That is the first event my mother will come. But to be honest, I pity my mother because why? Because of my nonsense deed, whatever I've done in the previous time. She faced all those criticisms from a relative, all this. But today, I proved to my relative, I'm a changed man. I'm a changed man. Don't believe me? You go Google. Dr. Google can help you to answer the question, whether I'm changed man or not. Google lah, my name, Ramli Abdullah. Google lah, got info what? Google. Nah, I'm joking on it, right? I'm joking on it. Okay, today actually, I just want to share about changes lah. Changes is possible, and my new friends are all the positive people from prison officer, police force, CMB, and my staff, my colleague, my management level people who have been supporting me, who have been encouraging me to change and do the best that I can. Because why? Nobody gonna change you. It's only you. You and about you. No one else. God said, you never change, I cannot change you. You change. So I think at my 45 years old, I think I need to change today. I'm not getting younger, I'm getting older. Right? But I don't look like 45, I know. No need for you to tell me. I know. I know. Thank you so much for this short speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful, truly inspiring story. And what a motivational speaker you are. And really from the heart. And a really, really funny guy too. I think you have a great potential in stand-up comedy, doesn't he? Give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Sharing. This one haven't confirmed yet. Confirm on my side, but management haven't confirmed. I share first. My chairman down here, I must say, not yet confirmed. December, I'm hoping, if everything goes smoothly, I'm taking up a public speaker course.
Very nice.
That is my second aim, to be a speaker. I want to be in the TED. Not only here, I want to be in the TED. Of course, sure.
Thank you very much. And I think I would like to invite Ramli's mother on stage. We don't get such an opportunity every day. So can someone please assist Ramli's mom to the stage? Thank you very much, Bruce.
Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, I did from Reforming Support Group. You see, the logo nice, not the blue color. Promoting. I believe everybody have the stickers, right? Those does not have stickers, please look out for our SG members. Get the stickers. No logo, that one is very, very important message to everybody, right? Is that you can see a rope over there.
Let's give Ramli's mom a big round of applause. Behind every reformed person is a wonderful mother.
She emotional. Better don't. Later I need to send her back. I got problem. Better don't. Later I report to work late. I got problem. Okay. Come, mom. Go down.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ramli and Ramli's mom. Can't thank you enough. And for our last personal sharing, I would like to invite Mr. Matthew Poe on stage, who is an anti-drug advocate, as well as a co-founder of the wonderful cafe, the Caffeine Experience. And probably one of the tallest guys in Singapore.
The tallest guy here. Ram, Mohd Irshad, thank you very much for having us here. Ram, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for printing this to promote our cafes. Now, Bruce did mention, for all those carrying this card, come over to Centrepoint Cafe and you'll get 20% off. That's for everybody. Who am I? I was an ex-offender. I was an ex-abuser. I was an ex-dealer, ex-inmate, convict. I am a divorcee. I'm a bankrupt. If there's any way a man can fail, I kind of excelled in it. I don't know all of you, but I know we make mistakes sometime in our lives. What do we do with it? I think that's the most important part. Do we move on with it? I'd like to share with you the moment when I was leaving prison. Prison is a very nice service apartment, except without freedom. Laundry is washed, food comes on time, you collect breads. You don't have money in there. On the day that I left prison, the very day, I mean, just one day before that, you try to touch my bread, and I will, oh, brother, that's a kind of concept. We try to keep our bread, we exchange it for things. But on the day that I leave, a strange thing happened. Just imagine 8 guys leaving prison. Of course, when we are leaving prison, everybody happy, don't think about anything, right? We are supposed to strip naked. We're putting all our 3 t-shirts, 3 shorts and everything into a box, Toyogo box. Now imagine 8 guys naked carrying the bread, everybody share. Like, very happy, everybody share. Just one day before that, the bread is of high value, we won't share it. But on that day where we leave, we will share it. Why? Because we don't need it anymore. And after that strange 8 guys, probably not gay, but naked guys sharing their bread, they walked out to the next room, we wear our own clothes, we leave. To me, that was an epiphany. That was the moment that I think this is a mini play of my life. Soon, I will leave this earth. I'm going to be placed in a box, probably longer than most of you, bigger one. Everything that I own is going to be dumped into the ground. Whatever money, assets, house, it will be distributed like the bread. So why is there a need for me to spend the next 30 years building a big stuff empire for myself and then after that to distribute to others? There isn't a need. And that came to me and says, maybe I should do some good. For the 1 year, because I surrendered, that I went into prison, it changed my life. My group of brothers, one was on death sentence, 2 15, 2 12s. And I told myself, I can commit the next 15 years to doing some good for this second chance that was given to me. Now, as I step out, I want to share with you the kind of feeling and emotion of those people coming out. All my brothers, everybody say, let's not smoke. Let's just do something good. Everybody is hopeful that a new life begins. But everybody at that point in time also fear that they will fail. It's a very complex feeling. It is a feeling of good, of hopefulness. It is also a feeling of fear of failure. Now, I equate those people coming out from halfway house to a 5-year-old child. Look, they could be like Bruce, as confident as, big muscles, that talks as loud as he can. But during this short period, all of us are in a very vulnerable state. It depends on who we mix with. If you mix with a brother in the past, there is a big chance you will go back in. If you mix with someone that can influence, support, help you to change over, there is a big chance that you will flip over. But there are those people who will fail. But please, don't look down on these people. Today they fail. Doesn't mean that they will continuously fail. One day, they will change over. Whichever day that is, I just ask that all of you support them all the way. But during this complex feeling I faced, or all my brothers faced, it is not easy. I took 9 months knocking doors, making phone calls, asking people to support starting a caffeine experience. I face slam doors, slam phones. I face people who doesn't even want to pick up my phone. Have you been rejected before? Very badly, I have. I just pursued on. I kind of gave up more than 6 times trying to start this up. It is as painful as it gets. But why do I start? When I was in prison, all my brothers, they actually tell me, they say, well, now we go out, who will want to hire us? Very hard to find job. So as they kind of built this with me, and I have business experience, I told them maybe we should start. And I pull along my prison officer, my PS, his name is Hilary Low, he's not here today. And we started this caffeine experience. This caffeine experience is started so that we can create jobs to give ex-offenders to start again. When I have resumes coming in, this one don't know, this one don't know what experience, that one F&B background, etc., one ex-offender. Okay, I'll push aside. Okay, ex-offender, come. Because these are our beneficiaries. These are the people that we want to support. Now, I recognize one thing. Brothers in drugs. When we are free, when we sit at home, abang call you, say, hey, brother, can kang tao bo? And then I know the other person. Before you go in prison, you got 5 contacts. After you leave prison, you got 50 contacts. It's a serious issue, but we will address that another time, not today. But here's this. I will just say, okay, I don't even want to touch, but I need money. Bro, I'm today. And then this guy gets it. I mean, I don't want to be involved. We try it that way. But a few more times, you're going to get enough money, couple $100. Soon, you will have extra. Soon, you're going to get in trouble, and soon, you're going to go back in. It is a very dangerous path. It is a very vulnerable, it is a very baby path. And we need not just enterprise to create jobs so that they stay away from all this. I give them trouble, work trouble. I give them work issues to attend. They kind of work hard. Actually, the ex-offender, they are much better staff than outside people, because the outside people come in for that salary, they want to probably take a stepping stone and they want to step out. But for these guys, this is a new life change. And they work very hard. We have, at this point in time, probably 9 to 10 ex-offenders under us. And we wish and hope that they continue to do well. So how do you support these people? I do not know at what stage of life you guys are in. But look at this. Count your days to when you are supposed to return back to Lord, to the God. Do you have 30 years? How much money do you have? Do you think by the time you acquire as much as you can, when you leave, those things will be put into good use? Why wait until then? Do some good now. Help some people. Hey, help us. You know, to support us, just come to any of our cafe, get a drink, get some food, come regularly, bring some friends, have some Facebook posts, share us. That is a very good way to help us. We're not out of the rates. We started in Tanjong Pagar, 2017, after 9 months of begging. We started Tan Tock Seng Hospital last year in December. Centrepoint was started last week. I Want To Katong, it will be a cat cafe, and it's starting probably in August. And we have another 2 more coming up. And we are doing our best on shoestring budget to make sure that our guys and our friends have a job and that we have some values to stay away from the drug scene. And some of us, which I think are very talented, for instance, like Bruce Matthew there, we make him our brand ambassador. Basically, he goes out and shares the anti-drug movement. If we can change the life of a few persons, make their family sustainable, I think that is worth all the trouble of a business can go through. You have no idea the pressures of running a business. It's almost, well, I don't even have the word to describe it. But that scope is worth doing when you see the lives of these people change. And when these people go out and change the life of others. I can't do everything. I only have that many hours in a day. But if I can help build a group of people that can go out and change other lives, I think that is very much worth it. I counted my days as I left prison. I probably have another 30-odd years left. I probably don't have the energy during all that 30-odd years. But the next 10, 15 years, if I can contribute and build something big enough that can pass on and move on, I will do that. And I ask all of you, account your days, account whatever you have. If there is a little part that you can play to make a change to the people around you, help them. They might not dare to come to you and ask for help. They would fear. They fear they failed you. They fear that when you see them fall, you will be upset. And they will stay away from you. Reach out to them and help them. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Matthew Poe. You are truly a man of great heights, in every sense of the word. So how many of you are going to drop by the Caffeine Experience cafes? A show of hands. Okay. How many of you are going to drop by every week? Every week, okay. We'll look out for you. Oh, she's a very, very ardent supporter. Please give her extra discount. Thank you very much, Matthew. Thank you. Thank you so much. And now, this entire event is in conjunction with the publication of a wonderful book, of course, by Mr. Ram Dubey. And we'll be now giving copies of the book to all our wonderful partners and well-wishers and supporters. I would like to invite on stage our guest of honor, Mr. Mohd Irshad, nominated Member of Parliament and President and Founder of Roses of Peace, accompanied by Mr. Poon Kok Hwa, publisher, Candid Creation Publishing, and our wonderful author, Mr. Ram Dubey. First up, Mr. Ranjit Singh, who cannot sing yet, but his speech is good enough. It's music to the ears. Thank you very much. And up next, forget about Bruce Lee. And clap for Mr. Bruce Matthew.
Bruce just mentioned to me his daughter just came into the room. Can we invite Bruce's daughter up on stage to be with her father? Let's give her a round of applause.
Yes, let's do that. Thank you very much, Mr. Irshad. Come, darling. You're looking so beautiful today. Let's give a big round of applause for Bruce Matthews' daughter. And what's her name, dear? Beatrix. Beatrix. Bruce's darling. Is your wife here as well, Bruce? Oh, can we have? Come on, it's a family get together here. Anyone else? Your aunt, uncle, cousins? But we are all family here. Wow. She's blushing as if it's her wedding day. Mrs. Bruce Matthew. So if any of the other recipients, your family members are here, please bring them along as well on stage. Thank you very much. Mr. Ramli Abdullah, with family. Mr. Ramli Abdullah and family. Mr. Matthew Poe. And you didn't bring the cats. You didn't bring the cats. It's okay. Next time. Mr. Rizal Mikhail. Mr. Aziz Hashim. And up next, Azmi Hassan and friends. Can we have Azmi and Azmi, Lisa and Vic? Thank you very much for serenading us with such inspiring numbers the whole morning. You guys are great. Lead singer and guitarist Azmi, and then backup vocals also Azmi, Lisa vocals and piano, and Vic low, but he goes low and high on the cello. And now, a copy to, of course, our author, Mr. Ram Dubey. How can we not do that? Mr. Poon Kok Hwa, publisher, Candid Creations Publishing.
And now one for Mr. Money, who so kindly hosted this event.
Thank you very, very much. And let's take a group picture. Come on, louder. The whole of Singapore has to hear this. It's a journey like none other. And we are applauding all the brave hearts. Well done, well done. And before I release everyone, we would like to also give a copy to our wonderful guest of honor, as sweet as a rose, the president and founder of Roses of Peace, and nominated member of parliament. Now they're having a tussle on who to present. Why don't you both do it together? Yeah. Thank you very much. We can't thank you enough. Mr. Mohd Irshad said yes right away. So let's give him another big round of applause for that. Thank you very much for your big heart. And also thank you very much for speaking about this cause. Yeah. In the biggest chambers in Singapore. Thank you very much. So once again, a big round of applause for Mr. Mohd Irshad, our guest of honor. And thank you very much, everybody. May I request the anti-drug advocates to remain on stage? We're going to have a forum session right now. I would like to open this forum with a question, of course, to Mr. Ram Dubey. What was the biggest eye-opener for you when you embarked on this book? The biggest eye-opener that threw you off the chair?
Well, what prompted me on this journey and really made me go to this book was the fact that when
you have a sexy voice, sir, so you can hold the microphone closer.
All right.
Doesn't he have a sexy voice?
Right,
yes.
Thank you. So what inspired me actually to get on to write this book was when the first time I had an occasion to hear Bruce Matthews. In fact, it was a book launch event of some other book of one of my friends, Mr. Andrew Chow. And there I heard Bruce coming from Teen Challenge to share his experience. And I wondered why, we don't write about this. Why don't we write? Because he shared his struggles and he shared how his recovery journey was. And I listened to him intently, and it just gave me a message that how come this is not going out to the public? How come the world at large is not knowing that, there are these possibilities that are there, and yet people seem to be going through a revolving door syndrome where they relapse and relapse and relapse. And that inspired me to actually start on this journey.
Thank you. And my next question is, any of the anti-drug advocates can actually reply. What is the biggest challenge that you still encounter? Not intrinsically, but extrinsically. What is the biggest challenge? Bruce?
I thought I heard you said anyone, and then my name was mentioned. I guess the biggest challenge is, drug addicts, they carry a certain stigma to them. Drug addicts are always unreliable. They are people that you cannot trust. they can't work, etc., etc. And personally, on a personal level, I do not blame them for thinking that way. Because, hey, let's be honest. We look at our own track record. When we were on drugs, we were not actually exemplary in the way we do things. So I guess the biggest struggle and obstacle for me is to prove my worth to society, to prove my worth to others, that, hey, I am just like you and I, just like anybody else. I'm capable of doing things, and not only things, but also great things. If only you were to afford me the chance to do so.
Thank you very much, Bruce. Thank you. Okay, let's make it a very, very engaging session. Any questions, any doubts, any experiences? Please introduce yourselves, and which gentleman wants to go first? Okay, sure.
I'm Amir Singh. I'm a senior lecturer in psychology. In fact, I addressed Ranjit just now, and I asked him, I say one of the biggest challenges I see among all you guys would be acceptance after your rehab and all that. So acceptance, when he mentioned the biopsychosocial, I'm not going into a lecture now, but I'm just going to say that it is acceptance not only from society, but your acceptance of society. So he was telling me there's a very deep question, and he will found, but he gave me some insights, which I feel everybody should hear about. So if you can, please again. Thank you.
It's also got to do with your acceptance of society.
Yes.
How do you respond to that?
Yes, thank you. And I think that's a very important question. Generally, if you look at the track records of people who have actually gone to addiction and so forth, it's generally about acceptance. Who am I in society? And for me, I started using because as a young boy at 12, 13 years old, I grew up thinking that I'm not lovable. Nobody cares for me. Because I was parenticized at a very young age. My dad, he worked very hard to support us. My mom was excellent and so forth. But somehow, I did not socialize out there. And when I grew up as a child, about 12, 13 years old, I wanted to go out to meet people, and I found myself not being able to socialize. And I thought that nobody accepts me. I thought I was useless. And that's where I think alcohol came in. And when I drank alcohol, it suddenly changed me. I suddenly lost all inhibitions. I was able to go out there and socialize and so forth. And I continued to them. And from there, slowly I went to drugs. So when I came into recovery, that was the same problem I faced. I needed to be accepted by people. I need to work that. And that had to be, and so for me, it was about learning who I am today, where I am. And I started on the wrong way. I started on wrongly and so forth to be accepted. Remember earlier I mentioned, social acceptability does not equals to recovery. Recovery is an inside job. And so the way to go about was actually work within myself, which rightly Mr. Amir Singh has pointed out, with myself. Do I accept who I am? And in early recovery at the halfway house, I actually did not accept myself. In fact, I would mention I became a workaholic. I worked so hard and I pleased everybody thinking that I will be accepted. And so much so, I did not take care of myself. I used to go work in the morning and I come back home at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. My wife asked me, why don't you bring your bed at home to work also? And I told her, I said, what do you mean by that? I'm working so hard to be, today I stopped taking drugs and I'm working so hard and so forth. Why are you saying that? You see, I didn't understand. Deep within me, I actually did not accept who I was. I wanted to be right in the eyes of society. That's why I pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed myself. 17 years later, I relapsed to alcohol. So today, coming into this recovery program, understanding the biopsychosocial model and so forth, I've started to look within myself. Who am I? What am I made up of? And I see that I have a lot of strengths and I have a lot of weaknesses. And I'm okay with my weaknesses and I'm okay with my strength also. So I play that up. So today I know there are challenges in my life. There are areas I will never be able to achieve and so forth. And it's okay. There are people who will still not like me, and it's okay. but there are people who still like me. So I've learned to accept myself. That as I started to accept myself as this way, I'm able to accept others. I'm able to accept people's flaws and able to be okay with them and so forth. Yeah. So that's been my journey and so forth here working. So working deep within myself, who I am, what is the areas I need to work on, and be okay on a day-to-day basis. That helped me. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Singh and Mr. Singh. And over to Mr. Muthu Kumaraswamy, who established the first rehab center in Singapore.
Actually, when Matthew was talking just now, it reminded me of he said 21 years, I've spent 33 years working in these prisons and drug centers. My biggest question here is, I've seen and I've been so disappointed with so many of them. They go on very well, and all of a sudden, there is a mishap in the family or their own personal life. And then, you know, they have always an escape route. And that escape route is the one that is inviting them, is there on call anytime. You can come, I'm there for you. Now, and I've seen so many of them fall after many years. And it's very disappointing, you know. You follow these guys and you think that they have changed for the better, and then they just snap just like that. Now, how do you prevent such a thing happening to you? You know, that's my biggest question. Is there something that you have that you can make sure that it does not, you don't fall on that trap?
Thank you, Mr. Muthu.
I suggest, Mani, that for this particular question asked by Mr. Muthu, we get everyone on the recovery panel to actually say how, because each one of them have been different. So maybe I'll just pass it to Aziz here. And maybe
Aziz, please share with us.
Yeah, Aziz here. Hello. What Muthu said, Mr. Muthu said is right. For me, I always have a faulty belief system, you know. And in my early recovery, I always have a spare tag, you know. Anytime I can use it for my use, for my excuse, you know. But after I've gone through my recovery process, I become stronger day by day. And Mr. Muthu is one of my, from Pertapis before, and I'm from Pertapis, you know. I've been there, you know. And I can say that I learned a lot from Pertapis. I'm growing, and what I can say now is that I'm 19 years clean and serene.
I like the way you put it, clean, but not only clean, but serene. Yeah, I think that's so beautifully put. A big round of applause for that. Matthew.
This question touches my heart. The only certainty is that there is no certainty. We are abuser until the day that we take our last breath. Will I fall? I don't know. Maybe one day, maybe not. As you look at me now, one of the reasons I am not falling is because I have 10 other reasons behind me that if I fall, I will cause the rest of my colleagues to fall. And hence, I have that responsibility. And likewise, I want all to know, to help an ex-offender who have failed in drug abuse, you want them to restart over. It's not by narrating the principles and telling why he shouldn't go back to drugs, but it's to give him some responsibility, some reason why he need not want to go back today. And in Caffeine Experience, we give them this value, that you not just want to stay clean, but you want to advocate and share this news with others, to help others. And when someone sees the need to help another person, that responsibility itself will put that person straight. But then again, please remember, there is no certainty. And that's the only certainty that I can present to you. And how do we help these people? And that is we continue. We have one guy, when started with me, in 1-8. He fell. It broke all our hearts. Bruce, Hillary, our heart. But we received a letter from him from prison just a while back that he have changed over and he's willing to restart again. After 2 years, we are very, very touched, very happy, and I'm waiting for him to come out to restart, to welcome him back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ranjit Singh.
Yes, definitely a very important, relevant question. I share this at my workplace with some of the patients I work with. I tell them this, I'm not sure whether tomorrow I will relapse or not. I'm not sure. Whether I'll use, I'm not sure. But I know today I will not use. Today I'm confident enough to tell you that I will not pick up my first drug. The reason is because I'm connected with my recovery. There are processes in my recovery, there are things that I do in my recovery to sustain my recovery. That's why when we do recovery, we do it one day at a time. Other things you can, but when it comes to addiction, it's one day at a time. Because it's a biopsychosocial problem. There are many other factors besides psychosocial, the bio part can work. So if I'm taking care of my internal self and so forth, like for example, getting connected with my higher power, for me is important. Getting connected with my recovery support group, getting connected with my emotions, how my feelings I'm feeling today, talking about them when I have challenges and so forth, making sure that I'm very connected with, and being happy with my hobbies and so on. If I continue to do that, relapse will be very far away. You see, relapse does not happen suddenly. It's a process. People relapse mentally first, then it becomes a behavior problem, and then comes the physical relapse. So what we are talking about here is actually the physical relapse here. So we can actually spot a relapse that is already coming by the way the person lives the life. So for me, that's where I arrest my addiction. On a daily basis, I arrest it mentally first. I make sure I'm connected with recovery. I make sure I'm connected with the right people, and I stay close with that and so forth. And that will prevent a relapse for me. So that's for me, I mentioned.
And Ranjit, you mentioned, it's a daily thing.
Yes.
So is it a daily struggle? Is it a daily fear?
Yes, it's a fear and it's also a joy. It's both and so forth here. I say this, there are two persons inside of me. One is a recovery Ranjit and the other is the addict Ranjit. Who do I feed daily? If I feed the recovery Ranjit itself on a day-to-day basis, yes, there's joy. And I think fear is normal. To have fear and be okay with that is normal, to challenge us. But at the same time, I need to feel joy. Because at the end of the day, I'll sit down and take an inventory of myself, and I give myself a pat on my back. It's a great day today. I did all of this, gratefulness exercises. I take care of myself, all of those then. Are there challenges? Fear? Yes. That's why I start off my day trusting my higher power, connecting the right people, because I fear relapse. I don't want to relapse again. I experienced that many years. After 17 years of clean time, I experienced that because I neglected self-care and so on. So that's where the fear comes. But there's also joy of recovery.
Wonderful. Rizal, please share with us. Do you share the same fear and how do you overcome it?
Okay, good morning. Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, sorry, this is my first time doing the forum and I'm quite shy.
we totally believe you.
Okay, for me, I'm on my 7th year of recovery. It's nothing great actually. It's a struggle every day. But for me, I won't forget where I came from, what my past are. Alright, people say, forget about your past. I've been in and out of prison for six times. The last one was 7 years, and I'll just put it just my right shoulder. So if I were to relapse or think the triggers are there, I'll just take a right look on my shoulder. And now I'm a social work assistant in Singapore Anti-Narcotic Association. It also helps me that in my recovery. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just feel like I'm not great like my peers. Yeah, and for me to help those people in recovery also help me in recovery, because I just hope that my sharing with them and everything that will help them in recovery. Yeah.
That's an excellent point that you just brought up. When you help others, you help yourself as well.
Right.
Yes, yeah. A big round of applause for that.
Okay, sorry, I'm very sure.
Ramli.
Okay. I'm not going to sing anymore. Okay, for me, to be honest, yeah, relapse happen. I agree with you. Relapse happen. You can be free for 20 years, 25 years, but once you make a small mistake, then the relapse will come in. But for myself, I think I have been practicing this two things, right? One is mindset, one is support. All right, support. What I'm saying is, I receive support from positive people, people like sharing with me positive things to do, activities, all this. And for myself, I've gone through a lot of positive things, doing talks to students for Central Narcotic, all this. So when I share to this youth at risk or ex-offenders, meaning I'm reminding myself as well. I'm reminding myself. Not talk for free, no. Now I talk for free lah. But for students, youth at risk or ex-offenders, even my residents, existing residents in Jamia Hafiz House, whenever I advise them, meaning I keep reminding myself, right? And I think I have a very strong willpower that I think I'm confident enough. I can say that I'm proud of myself, what I have achieved, and I think I will try my very best to be the best as I can every day. Because why? I think if happens that I go back to drugs or go back to a secret society, the first person who will be very embarrassed is my mom, my beloved mom, right? Because all this while, nearly 5 years, I've gone through a lot of things, and I think the positive things makes her happy. And I've been in social media for a lot of activities, like for example the Yellow Ribbon, Singapore Prison, Captain of Life, all this. My photos are there. Even Wang Bao I have. You name it, I tell you yes or no. Vasantham I have. Indian people. Straight Time I have. Berita Harian I have. So why must I become a fool to go back to drugs again? I don't want to go back to drugs. I want to help ex-offenders. I want to assist ex-offenders to change, to be a better person, to reform, to be a new leaf. For example, like I said, support. Why I said support? Because right now I'm supporting my reforming support group members. I give them individually, I give them responsibility. You are as an admin. I give you something, you do something. You as a person to upload whatever events that we do, our photos in Facebook. So they have their own responsibility. And I purposely bring them to Central Narcotic Office, local company which I've been invited, personal invitations, but I brought them along and I sabotage them. It's my sharing, but I call them up. I call them up and do sharing. And then I can see funny things. My name, like this.
I told you he's a natural.
Yeah, but that is, that is true. When you let them have a chance to speak up and they feel something, Brother Ramli give me this kind of responsibility. Brother Ramli bring me to this school. Bro Ramli give me this platform. Why must I spoil myself? If I'm lying, I close my eyes, you go and ask them. They have their own roles, they have their own responsibility. This is the support we want to give ex-offenders like us. So I hope the support must come from the community, not only our loved one. I hope the community can give us strong support throughout our journey of recovery. And I don't deny there's a relapse, but I think I'm strong enough, my team are strong enough. I think the people surrounding me have given me the positive attitude and support. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramli. Questions? Please feel free to ask questions. This is a great opportunity. Please introduce yourself and your background as well.
My name is Mary. I'm a school counselor. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Ram for today's event. And I would like to say to all of you that you are wonderful role models. I'm very touched today. Thank you very much. Okay, this question is for Bruce and Ramli. I would like to know, how can school counselors help children that are affected when their parents go to prison because of drugs? All right. At the moment, I would also like to know, can you share in your point of view, because I never get this chance to talk to ex-offenders. So in your point of view, what would you like us to do? How to help your child in the school? All right, that's one question. Then the other question I have is for Matthew. This is a personal question. Not that personal question. Okay, Matthew, right. I have a friend and whose brother actually took drugs at the age of 16. He's still in prison until now. He's 50. All right. Now, it is very heartbreaking to see the mother very upset and crying and always wanting the son back. So what can I do as I took a pledge just now, right? So what can I do to help this friend and the family? And each time he comes out, he goes in back again. And the family is very distraught, not knowing how to help him, how to stop him from mingling with those particular friends that calls him out, and then he goes inside again. So how can I help this family? Thank you.
Okay, I'll take the first one first, then I'll pass the mic to my brothers over there. Oh, myself and Bruce. Okay, then I'll pass to Bruce later, right? You are chosen also, huh? Okay, it's true. For members of public who are lay persons, it's very rare for you to have this kind of opportunity to speak to ex-offenders throughout their true story, their background story. It's very rare. And not much ex-offenders want to step up and do their sharings. But I think everyone over here plays a big part today. So, answer to your question is, I have been through to schools, institutions like Nian Poly, Temasek, everything. Normally, these students, for example, these students, as a counselors, when you speak to them, to be honest, I can tell you, they won't share with you. They won't share with you. Have you taken drug before? Why you like this? You have smoked before? No. They will just zip. They won't share anything with you. I strongly believe when people like us come in, when we start to have conversations with them, there will be a small leak out. Yes, I mix with these friends. This friend, oh, so this friend is from, oh, this friend, he was from Void Deck. I know him from Void Deck. Then I got tattoo. You see, when you talk to them, they won't leak out everything. But when we come in to talk to them, I believe, and it's a genuine cases that I am seen. I went to schools, I talked to the counselors, I said, let me talk, or my members talk. They are very open. Yes, have you tried cigarette before? Yes. Last 2 days I tried to smoke, all this. See, they are very open to us. So, as a counselor, I think I don't want to block your way or block your part in doing your work, but I think you should engage people like us to come in to give them some advice.
Me, as a mental health professional and a counselor, how can I help the offender's child?
Okay.
What can I say? What can I do in the school?
Okay.
How can I motivate them? What do you think I can say or cannot say in your point of view?
In my point of view,
yes,
I think
I understand you have a child and yes.
I think I'm an MCE just now, actually PIE.
But that was very helpful, the earlier one. Thank you for sharing.
Sorry, I went to MCE, not PIE. Right?
No, that's fine.
Okay, I think from my point of view, right, we should support them, even though we know that they will have this kind of feelings, like emotionally down. Parents are in incarcerations for drug offenders, and when they go to schools, students will come and talk all this. Hey, your mother go inside prison for this. So I think basically is play a big part is emotional. So for myself, from my point of view, I will give a moral support to talk to the students as much as I can, to be like their parents when their parents are inside. So I think that is one of the greatest way that you can do also. Right? Thank you.
So it's all about a lot of communication. Okay, we have a lady here, and she would like to ask a question.
Hold up. I haven't answered the question yet. Thank you. It is very tough if a parent or the parents of a child were to go to prison. I just cannot fathom the amount of stress the particular child will be going through. Especially when, when one of your parents or parents are in prison, it is a very embarrassing thing to let others know. But as teachers, I guess, as teachers and counselors, you will have information to all this. And I think the only way that you can help that student would be to be his or her friend, to be empathetic towards his or her situation, to be an outlet where that student can vent or release his frustration, his sadness that is welled up inside of him or her, You think about it. When students, when they do have problems, more often than not, who would they seek advice from? Their friends, right? And then the advice that the friends would give them would normally be rubbish and not the correct advice. But you, as a trained counselor, you are in this very unique position to help that student, because you already you've been through the course, so to speak, right? Yeah. So I guess for me, I feel this would be the best course of action, best way you can help that student.
Okay, you mentioned that the kid went in at what age again? 16. And how old is he now? 50. These are sad stories in life where your life is pretty much expended. And I urge all of you to consider, when you have friends that do that, at the very earlier stage, you have to encourage him, help him, and get him out of it. Because by the time it's too late, it's very hard to flip around. Two things you can do. One, for the family, if you're close with them, spend time with the family, encourage them, help them, speak on a positive note, not about the failures of the guy. Second thing is, if this guy comes out, he needs positive impact. He needs a place whereby people understand his drug use. And with this positive kind of impact, well, I really don't have that a lot of posts, but there are a lot of places where people can not just counsel him, but walk with him. In my concept in the caffeine experience is I walk with them. Now, I speak to you in English, but bear in mind that when I speak to my guys, and we go along that line of language. As much as it seems like a joke, but I connect with them. We will talk jokes like, well, triple today, triggers, yeah, today's me, and you go talk about the drugs. And why do I talk to them about the drugs? It's not that I encourage them, but I connect with them. And when I feel, and when I talk to them and I find that they talk, in the same lingo as me with the drug issues, I know they are safe. But when I talk to them about drugs, and when suddenly they start to keep quiet, now I would a bit worry, because the moment I start to, if I see them fearing that drug conversation, there is a chance that they are avoiding topic and they are back into it. So we have to walk with them. Now that's my path. In that case, with yours, from 15 to 50, the only best thing that you can do when he comes out is connect with somebody, some place where he can work, start a new life. There will be no way that he can restart on his own. He needs a job, a place where they can recognize him. They need people to help him, professional help. Even preferably, I would recommend professional ex-offenders, because only with these people that they can connect. Because they are not going to tell you what drugs they use. I mean, what do you know? You haven't even gone into prison. They will think that way. But for someone who has really done drugs, the first thing that we will talk to them is drugs. And when they open up, and that's where we slowly tell them to restart a new life again. But it's a long path. It's not an easy path. And the best thing you can do is to support the family. That's all I can suggest now. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce and Matthew. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Oh, it's afternoon already. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Can we have energy?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I held one of the cutest baby here, the youngest one. Okay, my name is Christine Sim, and I'm actually a person that has gone through different social stratas. Okay, where in different parts of Singapore, I've worked with people who were actually part of the Yellow Ribbon Group. One of them was a lieutenant colonel that spent a holiday in Changi, okay? But he's now a multi-millionaire, and he's helping ex-offenders to get jobs, all right? I was his mentor. Now, the interesting part is, I just want to sum it up, because I think it's very interesting to be part of this forum today. Ram, you have written a very good book, collected a lot of testimonies. The thing now is the way forward is to think about this, because you raised the point about it takes a village, all right? So the thing is, I'm always thinking, what do we do next, all right? So I have just an idea, because everybody needs support group to walk with that person, Matthew, as you say, all right, to journey a person. And one of the things actually can think about is a kind of an R to R movement, just like your Me Too movement, all right, it's R to R. Then what you can do is actually is to have, because Singapore is very easy, north, south, east, west, central, and people can come together, you know, meaningfully, they not pay too much, but just come together and talk about issues like all this. Because you know why? Hope, the most important letter in hope is O, open. To be open, come on, open, share it out. And you know the caffeine experience, you have so many centers, 5 centers. You could also be a meeting point for these people because you're there. So you can actually take proactive action to do it, all right? And Ram, maybe what you can do with Bruce and Matthew in that cafe is leave some of your books there, all right? Do small talks. You not be 60, 90, do small talks. And even for Ramlee, all right, he has such an excellent sense of humor. I'm sure that he can reach out to a community. Everyone is like, can form mini cell groups. But these cell groups together is so powerful. All right, as you say, it's community-led. And once you can do it well, then bring it up and you know, you get some of the government level people to take a look at it and say, this is what can be done. All right. I just mentioned this to someone who has lost his job. He's in his job search mode. And I said this when I suggested to him some options. He said, oh, it can't be done. Then I told him this sentence, and I hope it will resonate with everybody. When you say, those who say it can't be done are interrupted by those already doing it. So Ram, congratulations on writing this book. Kok Hua, for being the publisher. Now you know why you're part of this whole agenda. All right, you've written a legacy of recovery. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you. Some very good suggestions there. Your response, please, from the panel.
Maybe I would like to use this opportunity to say a few things. So first of all, thank you, Christine. You have always been a great support to all of us, and I hope you will continue to be always. Thank you very much. I just want to say about my friends here, these friends of mine. If you look at, and I just want to share with everyone in this audience that their recovery has come about because there is one thing that they found in themselves. That is a sense of meaning and purpose in their life. So if I look at Ranjit Singh, his sense and purpose of meaning in life, which I found out while talking to him, he's such a wonderful guy, was that he's so sincere of wanting to help other people recover. When I met Matthew Poe, and I was first introduced to him, his height gave me a shock first, right? But then when I talked to him, it was such a humbling experience, because from him, from the very moment that I spoke to him, I found out that his sense of meaning was purpose was, look, these people come out, they don't have a job, people don't appreciate them, people don't recognize them, let's do something about it. And he found a sense of meaning in trying to get something moving. Difficult it was for him, but he got something moving where people get jobs, people work, people identify, people build their own acceptance and their own level of experience. Yeah. And then comes Aziz. Aziz found his sense of meaning, and his sense of meaning was to help run the NA groups, help run the support groups, help the Jamia people, help the Pratapis people, and he goes around helping. So I found that in all of them, so if I move to Bruce now, Bruce, you know, I sort of now know Bruce now for 3 years now, for 4 years almost. And ever since then, I've always seen him at various events going out, championing a cause. Again, a sense of meaning and purpose. Young Rizal, he was, uncertain about himself, but let me tell you that when I sat with him and had coffee with him and tried to listen to his story, I was already at the tail end of my book. And it was very, very inspiring how this gentleman struggled through prison school. You know, we always have a misunderstanding of the institutions, but he actually is a product of the institution. He went through the prison school, successfully completed his N level and did his O level, and went on to get proper job when he came out. And now, look at him. He's again found a sense of meaning in Sanat, helping other people recover. Please give him a clap. Yeah. Ramli Abdullah, when my friend Ismail introduced me to him, I was out. This gentleman has formed his own support group. He goes door to door, goes to people's house, he goes everywhere, to the mosques, to the schools, follows the CNB, follows the police, going around doing nothing but sharing his story, encouraging people by his life experiences. I think that's where I see recovery is. Recovery is not about you doing something for yourself. Recovery is you finding that sense of meaning and purpose in life that you can do something for other people. So please give them a big round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sharon Ong. I'm 51 years old, and I'm actually a recovering alcoholic. I've been recovering for 8 years, not one single relapse. And I want to apologize in advance that I'm not a very good speaker, so there will be a bit of a story first. And then, but I promise you somewhere in there, there is also a question for Ram. You know, when I recovered from alcohol, I did it the correct way. I joined a program, and that was the best thing for me. And for me, it's being sober is more natural than being drunk. And my question actually is because after I stopped drinking, after a few years, I became stable. And because I am willing to stand up at gatherings like this, what happens is after the gathering, I usually get a lot of WhatsApp messages, and people will contact me. After a Facebook post, they'll contact me, and usually it's people who want to know, my son or my daughter, my husband, my sister has a real problem. What can I do? And one thing that I've noticed, and I don't have the answer, I think Ram has the answer as a counselor, is that what I see is that there's so much love in the families. When somebody has an addiction, the family becomes taken hostage. I think all of you know what I mean. I see people nodding in this room. You know, when somebody has an addiction problem in the family, the whole family who loves them so much, they are the exhausted hostages. It's like somebody took a gun and took them hostage. But my question is also like, I've also noticed that there's so much love from the families, but it's difficult to tell the families, from my point of view, what is helpful. I give an example. Okay, I will get to my point. Like this book, I've already read it 4 times. I'm a recovering addict, so every word means something to me. It is authentic, it is true. And every time a parent, I keep stocks of this, every time a parent or wife comes to me and says, I don't know what to do, can you talk to my husband or whatever, I will say first, I'm not qualified, but first place, get this book, take the copy from me, and don't give it to your loved one, you read the book. You know, what I say is, if you just give it to them, they won't be ready for it. But you read the book. And my question actually is directed to Ram, because I'm a lay person, and when I say that to people, my experience is that 80% of the people are not keen. They just won't accept. They would rather take the book and just give it to their loved one. So my question, which really is a question, is directed at all the counselors, all the peer support specialists, all the people who do these counseling. Because I think that when people are in counseling, the counselor never has enough time even with his patient. And I think it's actually quite rare for the counselor to be able to work with the family. And I have a very difficult question for Ram, which is that if you stepped into a lift together with the family of somebody you're going to counsel or you've been counseling, and so they are your prisoner, they are in the lift with you for like 1 minute. If you have only 1 minute to speak to the mother, the father, the wife, or the husband, what would you say to this person as your advice on how can you help the one you love? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Ram.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. By the way, Sharon is my friend. She's also a lawyer, a trained lawyer, and you know, she always very boldly and courageously comes out and says that she's a recovering person. For that openness, please give her a clap. Okay, her question is 1 minute in a lift, what do I say? I will tell the parent, please love your child, yeah? Or love the person who is having that difficulty. But your love does not mean that you don't seek professional help. Please get this person by hook or by crook to go get professional help. Because as parents, yes, we love our children, but we are not capable, and they will also take advantage of our love. I mean, not in the wrong sense, but because they are mentally not in a situation to do anything else, then the best thing I would suggest that please, if they ask me a question, I would say, please, can I suggest that you get some professional help? And in Singapore, we are very, very lucky in Singapore. So I have colleagues here in the audience who are from WeCare. It's a community organization, VWO, who helps people. So you can just walk in there, you can call them, they will support you. A lot of people are shy to go to IMH or NAMS. And I say, you know, in the whole of Asia, that's probably one of the best institutions that we have, where you can go and seek professional help. Yet a lot of people shy away. So I would say that there are many, many agencies that you can go and help. And in that 1 minute, I will just tell them, please go get professional help. And if you can, just pick up one number, whether from NAMS, you know, the National Addiction Management Service, or WeCare, and just call them and just have a talk to them. And probably they will advise you the next steps. Right? Thank you.
Okay. I just have one last point before I actually say farewell. All right. I know lunch is outside. The thing is, I want everybody to think about this. All right. Children become the love that they have known. In school, it's about acceptance. At home, it's also about unconditional loving. And it's very important that in President Halimah has mentioned what? Build cohesive societies. But how do we put this into practice? I think number one, suspend your judgment. All right? Do not stereotype. At the same time, build people up. Don't tear them down. So can we give another round of applause to this group of panelists that's actually on the stage here? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, Christine.
Okay, my name is Denise. I'm a counseling intern from ECTA. Just like Ranjit, but he's just completed your grad dip, right? I'm doing grad cert, so I'm your junior. Okay. Okay. Firstly, I'm very, very, very impressed by all of you because of your openness and honesty, and most importantly, your humility. You know, like Bruce, you mentioned 1, 2, 2, 4 days, is it?
1, 2, 2, 3.
1, 2, 2, 3. Tomorrow will be 1, 2, 2, 4. So it's really a day at a time, you know. You're so humble to understand that the risk is so high for relapse that you're just taking it a day at a time. So that's amazing. I really felt very touched by that. Okay, there's 2 questions. The first question is, Ram, you talked about the spiritual dimension, that you need to access spiritual healing, and then also, Ranjit, you talked about connecting to your higher power. I believe that has a big role to play, you know, in preventing yourself from relapse, because sometimes maybe it's just like knocking at the back of your head. I'm very stressed right now, I need something to cope, you know, and it might just like come back to you. So how, I just want to hear from you, how do you actually connect to this spiritual strength? And the second question, okay, is might be offensive, but just take it with openness and honesty. So you finally got yourself out of the problem. Many years, many days, 1, 2, 2, 3 days, you are clear. What if happens like tonight you relapse, then what must you do? How do you get back on the right path? Yeah, just these 2 questions.
Thank you for the question, Denise. For many years, I have tried on my own to quit drugs, probably as early as in my 20s. And one thing was for sure, I failed each and every time. It was only during my last imprisonment when my daughter gave me the motivation to change that I started asking myself this question. Hey Bruce, now you have the motivation to change. But what you lacked is the strength to change. Because for so many years, you have tried on your own and you have failed each and every time. So what are you going to do? I spent a few weeks thinking about it. And then one day, the answer dawned upon me. As a drug addict, I always believed that I can change on my own. I can change on my own. But time has proven me wrong. And we as drug addicts will always need help, external help, in order to fully recover. Without help, we will never be able to do it. Upon realizing this, I did the only thing that I felt would work for me. And that was to rededicate my life back to God. And in doing so, I finally found the strength that I sorely needed to change. So my daughter, my motivation, and my faith, my strength. And as to the part about you asking what would happen if I relapse, you know, I think Bruce Wayne, you know, Batman, Bruce Wayne's father asked Bruce Wayne this question when he fell into the well. He said, "Why do we fall? Why do we fall?" And the answer is, so that we can learn to pick ourselves up. A moment of failure doesn't condemn me to a lifetime of drug addiction. I'm at the stage in my life where I will not allow, I absolutely will not allow anything to disrupt the quality of my life. I'm very happy and contented with the position that I am in now. Like what a lot of the panelists have shared, how do we keep ourselves on track? I've realized that the day I become complacent is the day I will start failing. And the book says it very aptly. Addiction will remain in us for the rest of my life. And this is the sad truth. An addiction, or a person in recovery from addiction, that addiction is in him, just like a dormant volcano, just waiting for the day to erupt. And that is the sad truth about addiction. So for me, I constantly remind myself not to be complacent, but to always stay on my guard, lest I fall.
I think Bruce said it all. All right, very well said for him. Just to a little bit, I think just to maybe add a little bit more to that and so forth would be this. I think for me, having a right relationship with God is very important. And it's a personal thing, right? For me, it's not religion anymore, it's not religiosity, it's relationship. And I follow the 12-step program. And like the first step, it says, I'm powerless over my addiction, that my life has become unmanageable. Here's where Bruce also shared about that I cannot help myself. I need to recognize that I have lost, and I need to admit that I can't do anything by myself. Then step 2 comes in, came to know a power greater than me can restore me to sanity. And this power should be kind, gentle, loving, and all-powerful. Right? So this is my higher power now. So this basically is something that I understood. Then the third step is turn my will and my life over to the care of God of my understanding. And here is where I give myself to my higher power on a daily basis. Because it is this higher power that is going to give me the strength to overcome the day. He will provide me the grace and the strength to go through. So I need to maintain this daily relationship with Him, daily surrender to Him. And that's how I'll be able to stay sober one day at a time and so forth. With regards to relapse, yes, I know I will relapse. And I've said this, I've worked this with my wife. And I told my wife, I said, don't be surprised if one day I come and tell you that I've relapsed to heroin or have drank alcohol. And I told her what you need to do. And so she has a couple of friends and so forth, and she will tell those friends and so forth, and they will come and sit down and work with me through. But as best as possible, first thing is I need to take care of myself, which is what Bruce mentioned, not to be complacent. Day to day, take care of my recovery, take care of my emotional health and so forth. That will actually keep me away. Because relapse starts mentally first, and then it develops into a behavior, then the physical relapse will come. So there is still a process. I just take care of the process at the mental level and behavioral level. Yeah, thank you.
I'll just summarize by responding to you, both what Bruce and Ranjit has said, by just expressing 2 points. One, if a relapse happens, a slip, we will call that a slip. If a slip happens, it's okay. The first thing to remind anybody who has made a slip is that it's okay. Go get help. It's not okay to not get help, but it's okay to make that slip. All right? It's because sometimes, and then we talk about spirituality. So let me just clarify myself. When I wrote about spirituality in the book, and I'm very, very clear about this, that emotions, all addictions happen as a result of emotions. It's basically the emotional driver that drives us to a form of addiction. How do I manage my emotion? I have to declutter my mind. I got, drugs just cloud our mind. I have to declutter my mind. And the best way to declutter my mind is to start when I go into my sobriety, when I go into my abstinence, to try to say that, look, I'm grateful that despite the fact that I tried to kill myself because the drugs are poison, they could have killed you anyway. So despite everything I did, my soul protected me. So I learned gratitude. I learned acceptance. I learned humility. I learned how to forgive myself. I learned how to apologize for people whom I have hurt, like what we have seen Ramli do time and again on this stage today. So my model of spirituality is that if we are a religious person, please use your religion because it is one of the most powerful things. But if, let's say, you are not a religious person, please, you are a human being. You can have gratitude. You can have acceptance. You can have kindness. You can have compassion. Those are human values. Those are spiritual values. I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Just a short story. Recently, my Hari Raya, my family went back, my wife went back to Malaysia to his mom's home, and I'm home alone. I'm alone. My head masturbating. My head masturbating. I want to relapse. I want to I want to get high. I don't know what to do. I'm 19 years clean, and I have that thought. You know what I do? I went down, only speak to one ape. A shop ape who's selling like bags, something like that. And this thing goes off. And I quickly call my peer support groups and I share with them. And this goes off. Sometimes, how many years you are clean, these things happen. But not always, it's sometimes. That's why I'm very particular over my shortcoming. And if people ask me, hey bro, you're really long in recovery, how you do it? I told them, how? H-O-W, honesty, open-minded, and willingness. That's it.
Thank you very much for sharing that.
Hi everyone. My name is Eric Chua. The last time I was in a room with so many addicts was in a drug center. I'm 63 years old. When I came out in 1980, there was nothing about yellow ribbon or anything like that. My VAO didn't know what to do. But this was my second time inside, and I decided I need to stop. Right? Something in me changed. I cried because my brother, almost the same like what Bruce went through. So I picked myself up. I told myself the first thing I need to do was to move out of my home. I was staying with my grandmother in Tiong Bahru. I knew everywhere the drugs was being sold. Right? So I went to ask my stepmother, could I stay with you? My stepmother. So she said yes. So I stayed with her. Couldn't find a job. Finally, somebody introduced me to Canon Marketing. I became a technician down there. I spent 11 years with them. Right? I go for my urine test, and because at that time there was no tagging, right? So there was 2 days urine test and 10 o'clock curfew. So they would come to my house, maybe 1 a.m., 2 a.m. in the morning, and then my father would start scolding them. But my urine was always clean. I had to go back home by 10 every time. So I told my boss, can I borrow the manual back for the machine? So I memorized 8 different models, and I wondered why they promote me so fast. Okay. Right? So that was my career there. But the thing was this, I completely forgot about my past. I put it behind me, I went forward. Right? I just came back from China to Singapore. I am stationed in a lot of countries. I'm very lucky. Right? In the last 5 years, I didn't know what to do. Somebody introduced me to Ram, his book. Then I realized that there were many people like me who is still struggling every day. Right? You talk about your thing. Right? I lived in Thailand. Right? I live in Thailand. Right? I went to around the world. Yeah, everywhere around the world. But the thing is this, when I came back, I was so very surprised that there was something called the yellow ribbon. I wonder what that was. Then I remember the song. Then Mr. Ram introduced me to Mr. Mutu. Mr. Mutu was my superintendent in the drug center. Right? I became his RO boy and later sector boy. And he always said that he ran the prison. I said, no, I ran the prison. But the thing is this, when I came back, I'm very surprised that there were things like this going on. I'm very happy because I didn't have anything. Right? So to be very clear, I'm not trying to challenge you, but okay, I'm 39 years clean. Thank you. But every day is a struggle. Every day is a struggle. Yes, we try cigarettes. In China, I smoke 5 packets a day. Okay, coming back to Singapore was terrible. I couldn't afford a Singapore cigarette. Yeah. But the thing is this, there is something that you guys are doing. Right? I want to be a part of it. My question to the panel is, what's next? You're talking about getting people from prison out into society. What about stopping them from going in? Right? There are many phases to let's say, a life cycle of a person. Right? What they encounter, what should we do? If I had known some of the tricks in the book, how to do it or how to take care of myself, right? I would have been recovering a lot faster. Right? So this is the thing. You have a captive audience. These guys are inside there. They can't run away, right? So what are we doing for the people down there? Yeah, are there counseling sessions? I know he's doing one-man show down there, but he can't do everything. But the thing is this, if the person, or rather there's old saying, you bring a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. If I didn't want to change, nobody could have changed me. Right? In fact, to be honest with you, we already planned a series of robberies before I came out. But then something happened. Something happened to change me. And I said, no guys, right, I'm not going ahead. So you can beat me up all you want. Okay? So the thing is this, the panel, what's next? What are we going to do next? Are you going to form something or go forward, work with the government, with something else? Working with government is very strange for me. So what's next?
Thank you, Eric. So So, by the way, for those of you who don't know Eric, Eric is a friend of mine. Again, on recovery, very, very colorful history. Colorful history in two sense. Colorful history in his drug journey and, in and out of prison. But another colorful history on how successful he became as an international businessman, running a region with more than 18 countries, if I'm not mistaken. So successful in the business. Now, to answer your question, Eric, I think I would say this is just a beginning. I was so gratified. Today we have an event going on here. We have a Nakada event going on somewhere else. So there's so much effort. Ramli, Ranjit, everyone else, everyone is going out there, going to various places like Bruce and all that, going to schools, going to various places, drumming up this knowledge. I think this is the beginning. We are going to continue to propagate this message. We are we are hoping that out of the 200 people that attended this audience today, they will go out and spread this message. There is a good message in the book, but also I think we all play a part. This is a self-help effort. This was a self-help effort. So we all play a part. I'm a very, very small part. To correct Eric, I'm not the only counselor in the prison. This time, the prison is doing a wonderful, wonderful job. They have got many, many people to come, spiritual counselors, religious counselors, as well as people like us, and they have got us on contract to come and do the job. So together with me, there are many, many people coming into the prison to do counseling work, and they're all qualified counselors. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ram. We have an interesting perspective. Oh, sorry again.
I just want to add, I understand where you're coming from, because when I first went into prison, that was way back in 1992. Oops, it gives everyone an idea of how old I am. Way back in 1992, there was no such thing as rehabilitation. Serving a prison sentence is about you going in for X amount of years that the courts have sentenced you to, and then on the day of your release, the warder will come, open your door, and out you go, and you have to fend for yourself. But I'm glad to say that in recent years, the government has shifted heavily towards rehabilitation. The last time when I was in prison was I was just released in 2016. So I was actually very surprised to find that they have many courses available for inmates with addiction problems. All right, not only 12-step programs, but courses like Toastmasters, courses like digital storytelling. All right. These are just little ways to help them improve their lives. And not only that, on the outside, the CMBs are also holding PDEs, preventive drug education, in schools, schools of higher learning, and in social organizations also, which I'm very happy to say that I'm part of. Is it the best that they can do? I don't think so. I think that many other things can be done to help people on the outside with addiction problems. But I guess for me, this is what I call a good start. And someone once said, a journey of 1,000 miles. Where does it start? It starts with the first step. So we are at the beginning of the government stance towards recovery. So be a bit patient. More good things will come.
Thank you very much, Bruce. I have a very interesting perspective here from this lady who's worked with female ex-offenders.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Hamida. And I am from WIRA, Women in Recovery Association. Anybody heard of us?
Yes.
We have been around for 13 years. So I'm just highlighting. Perhaps in the future, we can have some women on the panel because we've been doing it for 13 years. And the reason that we are around is because a group of female ex-offenders in a halfway house in 2006, they asked the counselor that went to see them, what would happen to us after we leave this place? We would like to have someone listen to us because we know that women, when they come out, they have more issues to attend to, like childcare, accommodation, even relationship problems. And they are most at ease when they talk to another female, let's say. So that's why we are around for 13 years. No funding, but we have survived. And we have like a few hundred members, and it's still ongoing. We have Hari Raya gathering and all that. So, and our clients are not Malay Muslim, but also the other races. So we are glad that we are ongoing. And I would like to say that you all speakers are very good, as if you go for course. You spoke from the heart, is very honest, and really appreciate it. And maybe more can be done, plus some women in the panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Amida. Thank you, Amida, for raising awareness of VIRA. Can we give a clap to Ang Pong Hua? Can you stand up, Boa? So she is the founding president of VIRA. Please give her a round of applause. And yes, you know, when I started on this journey of writing this book, to get people to come forward to share their story, especially when I had this idea that, you know, I want to look for people who are really honest, who are open with me, and who are very positive about their recovery. And it was very difficult for me to get people who were willing to share that perspective. It was my you know, misfortune that I couldn't get a lady to participate in it. But definitely, I think, yes, in the next event that we organize, we would love to have. And no, we won't wait for another book. We will just wait for another event. Thank you. Thank you very much.
But Ram, I'm curious. Your first book was about overcoming addiction of alcohol. And your second book about overcoming drug addiction. So what's going to be the next?
I actually, my second book was because of two of my friends. I think Jim Beck has left, if I'm not mistaken, and Mr. Joshi. These two gentlemen were the one who egged me, along with Kok Hua, to actually write this book. Otherwise, I had no intent to write this second book, but then they inspired me, and I continued with that. So I'm very grateful to them. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I guess you're addicted to helping people overcome their addiction. That's your addiction.
This is just a thought I have. As we are all seated here, I think we all came here because we have one common cause, and to help people with addiction. And we look at resources that can be helpful. And family definitely is a huge resource. So I'm just thinking of this and so forth. If somebody could write a book, getting stories of family members who have successfully helped their loved ones, because there are groups out there and so forth where family members, how they handle situation, what they go through and so forth, and why they need to do that. I think that's one aspect and so forth that we can think about, because this would be a very powerful tool also moving forward and so forth. The role of family, what they can do, and currently there are groups of family members who are actually attending groups and so forth, and they are managing themselves very well and also taking care. I just thought I'd share this here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The suggestion for your next book, suggestion. Which is
about cats, huh?
No, not about cats. Can I? Look, every one of us, most of us, have addictions. To be very honest, work to a point that it destroys your family, and any other things. But I think the next book should be titled "The Addiction," the unseen addiction. And I think that book needs to address not ex-offenders that comes out from prison, but the public in general. Yes. Ask yourself, do you have addiction problems? I think you all have. But how to address that, I'll leave it to him.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that teaser. That was a very good teaser, Matthew. Ram, you have to respond.
Well, certainly I'll think about that. Thank you very much for both the suggestions. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. To all the panelists, thank you so much for your honesty, your openness, your positivity, and your endurance. Let's give them a standing ovation. Thank you very much, Ranjit, Matthew, Aziz, of course, our writer, Ram Dubey, and a friend to all of us, Bruce Matthew, Rizal, Ramli, and our publisher, Mr. Poon Kokwa of Candid Creation Publishing. And to each and every one of you, it's past 1 o'clock, and it just shows your commitment to this wonderful cause. Just because we are all bruised doesn't mean we have to lose. We will continue the fight as one people and as one community and one family. Thank you very much for this beautiful morning and afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been From Relapsed to Redeemed by Mr. Ram Dubey, brought to you by Candid Creation Publishing with the support of Lifelong Learning Institute as part of the SkillsFuture Festival. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
And before everyone leaves, on behalf of the caffeine experience, I just want to say 20%, everyone.
Okay, we want to leave you on a high musical note, so let's hear it from Azmi and friends. Just one number, sir.
Okay, I'm going to perform my own original. Yep, this is Only You. So many sleepless nights when you're not by my side, thinking of all the good times. Tears well up in my eyes. The memories still burn deep. When I'm cold, you keep me warm, and you are born.
quickly is when you are with me. Without you I'll die slowly. Only you in my heart. There's no tune in my deck of cards. Only you in my thoughts. There's no one who can tear us apart. Only you. From the mountain high to the deep blue sea, my love for you is forever, eternally. Only you in my heart. There's no two in my deck of cards. Only you in my thoughts. There's no one who can tear us apart. Only you in my heart. There's no two in my deck of cards. Only you in my thoughts. There's no one who can tear us apart. Only you. Thank you so much.
And that was Azmi and Friends. Azmi on the vocals, and Azmi on the backup vocals, and Lisa on the piano and vocals as well, and Viklo on the cello. Thank you very much. Happy
Thank you.
weekend.